to this ball, guiding it down, maybe even get one for the road.
Our own standards here in this overtime period, because if we concede a goal, it's over for them.
He's doing a lot of damage, but he's got to keep you over. He avoids the ego.
Bob Waena, no flash, no problem. Safe Clair. Horse back already so low. Reddick's taking down two, taking down one.
Immediately, this should be all she wrote. Soaks with one on the icy.
Stand until the whole squad.
What I'm most looking forward to is to see like all the boys make it.
Div Winland.
I think it's just a win. Like, our team has been going through a lot of changes. I want to see how far we can push it and see if we can finish third or get like a podium.
Looking forward to competing with tough opponents and having a good time with my team.
I really want to break that top 5, top 4 threshold.
Winning CVAL.
I'm looking for a revenge on CCL.
Getting top 4.
To be honest, nothing. I don't really have anything to look forward to. Next semester is what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking to win CCL. We only lost that one, so. MP.
Yeah, no, this map is actually crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
Water man.
Yo, Chris Scott, what the hell are you doing, bro? We got a match, bro. You're late.
Yo. I gotta go.
Yo, log in, bro.
I gotta go. Now I'm good.
Classic. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, chat, this guy is cooked. Oh, pre-fire. Pop it open. Warming up those fingies. And now he's just not missing any shots? That can't be how that works. Moving on. Ooh, obelisk. And chimps in VR helmets, and a legally differentiated enough version of film score.
No more than Calamity, though. Left in 5, he'll be shut down. The rotation was for Cumberland, but St. Clair breaks the kidding me. What the heck is that? Situation now 1-on-1, 1 HP on this solo. 1 bullet is a 4-person 1v5. Stand against the rest.
Guy to this ball, guiding it down, maybe even get one for the road.
Our own standards here in this overtime period because if we concede a goal, it's over for them.
He's doing a lot of damage, but he's got to keep you over. He avoids Ego.
Bob Waena, no flash, no problem. St. Clair.
Back already so low. Reddick's taking down 2, taking down 1. Immediately, this should be all she wrote. Soaks with 1 into icy.
Stand until the whole squad.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Seth Duelist.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CVAL Playoffs Round 2, Champs East. We have St. Clair versus Harrisburg Storm. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Lelo Seth Duelist Masilela. And today, we have quite the matchup. St. Clair, Harrisburg, both 4-1 coming out of Swiss. They get out of the round 1 playoff matchups in 2-0 fashion. These guys have been rolling, but somebody going to be sent to lowers today.
Yeah, somebody has to stop their momentum here, and now both, as you were talking about, had a very good Swiss stage, 4-1. Everyone coming off of 2-0 wins. Everyone's feeling good, confident, and prepared for this match. So it's really going to come down to how they play in-game. I think that's the major difference. These two teams pretty close in skill level, I would say. From the research that we've done, there seems to be a little differing play styles, yes, but all in all, skill-wise, kind of the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we look at just how St. Clair have started the season, however, versus how they've ended it, they really have had to kind of go through adversity and kind of grind to get to where they are right now. And Harrisburg, on the other hand, they've looked very consistent. They obviously had one of their hiccups at, I believe, the same week actually that we had ours. What was it, week 2?
Yes.
That we played Conestoga. So they played Rutgers and had the same thing happen. So, again, both teams, they've really had to kind of get out of a sort of if-so facto start, but then they come out strong in the finish. Lineup-wise, though, we're going to be kicking it to see what St. Clair are running today. It's going to be the usual suspects of Instinct, Tillo, Woody, JP, and Seth.
Yeah, as per usual for St. Clair. Everyone, you know them, you love them. We've been seeing them all season. We know how good this team can be, and I'm very excited to see how we play today and how we approach this game against this game right here against HU Storm.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, looking at sort of what we can expect from lineups today, I've heard, actually was having this conversation right here, there could be some changes that are coming to St. Clair's lineup in terms of what agents they pick out for today based on just the mental, and also it's map dependent as well. But this is all info that we can talk about later on. We won't touch on it for now because we don't know exactly what is certain and if they are going to be moving people around to different roles or whatnot, or trying out different pockets or pocket strats or whatnot. But all I know is there are 3 big changes that they have been mulling over and thinking about in this matchup. Whether they come into fruition, we will have to wait until agents select. But looking now at Harrisburg, the lineup that I'd rather spend a little more time kind of giving light to, because we cover St. Clair every week. Let's dive a little bit deeper here on who we have as opponents. Harrisburg Storm, looking at the lineup of Huso, Ian, Shadow, Taunt, and then also Ianson.
Yep, all 5 good players in their own right. I personally only recognize Ianson from seeing just TikToks and like ranked ladder stuff. So I know he can be a good player, but everyone else on Harrisburg, they're unknowns to me, but they're not unknowns to everyone else. 4-1, they're a really good team, and being here in this quarterfinal already puts you in a good position.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember we were literally just in this room in the pre-show, and in the pre-meeting before the pre-show, and I remember Owen was actually talking about immediately recognizing names like Huso, and I believe he also said Shadow as players that can kind of really get hot if you let them get the opportunity. So these guys, they know how to shoot. We already have established that, and they are a name that we would want to most likely take down. I believe not most likely, that we want to take down. I believe that if I'm trying to remember last year, Harrisburg, I should have looked this up. Harrisburg might have been the team that went on an insane run through the CVAL lower bracket in champs like last year in 2025. I'd have to get confirmation on that, but if they weren't, it's no matter. The whole point is this roster, it seems to me like they would be very capable of doing so, and the whole point is if you sleep on them, they will definitely drag you into deep waters. This lineup has been looking very consistent. Huso really being mainly on the duelist, plays a lot of Waylay and Neon, depending on what map pool they kind of have and what they kind of look at for their series. IN as well, usually on the Sentinel / Viper Flex sometimes, so playing that secondary smoke role. But these guys, they have a little bit of flexibility with that as well, because 3 players on the team in total have experience playing on a smoking role. So they are very flexible on who they can really move around. They don't play a double duelist comp. And this is kind of what grants them that.
That is so surprising to me. No
In the
double
Big
duelist?
26.
In the Big 2-6, we're not playing double duelists. I think this current patch and this current meta really favors double duelists, especially on maps like Corrode and Haven, which are going to be our first two. St. Clair going to be picking the defense for Corrode, and HU picking defense on Haven. Split our final decider. But on double duelists, again, it is so strong on so many maps that it kind of makes the Sentinel role a little obsolete other than Chamber. I think a lot of the Sentis in this game are obsolete other than Chamber, unless you're running double Senti, which at that point, you need to be playing on a team for a long time to effectively run double Senti.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, running through the rest of the team real quick, Shadow also plays both sides of the coin for Initiator, can play scans, can play flashes, and also another Senti Flex that can come into it. I saw there was some deadlock play, I believe, from Shadow when they were on either on Corrode or Bind, one of the two. And Taunt, primary smokes, no obviously questions there. Ianson, flashes usually being played on Haven. You'll expect him to lock in the breach on other maps as well. We've seen him play a little bit of KO on Abyss, though that got banned out, so probably not going to be looking at any of that today. Also plays a little bit of secondary smoker as well. So this team, very flexible around giving Huso the utility to let the man do what he needs to do. Playing a lot of Waylay, a lot of Neon, and looking at how the maps worked out, I don't think that's going to be changing a single bit. Right now, if we look at how, obviously, their record through Swiss of the 4-1, they beat Carleton, UConn Blue, U of T Blue, and Conestoga. Notably that Conestoga also took a series off of us in Swiss. They lose to Rutgers, but in their first series of playoffs, they beat RIT Orange 2-0, 13-6 on Bind, and a 13-7 on Corrode as well.
Yeah, pretty insane scorelines, I will add. I know you were talking about and looking at stats beforehand.
Yes.
And they had some pretty crazy statistics once the math came out. Like you were talking about 39% of the time they give up the first kill, so they're down in a 4v5. They still win out the round, which in a 24-round game, and especially in attack shooter like Valorant, where man advantage is so important, that's pretty insane. That is pretty crazy. If you give up one or two early, you're more often than not at the disadvantage, especially if you're losing that duelist, your smoker, or even one of your initiators. But still, they keep their cool. They're able to win out they're able to win out those rounds and just take it, snowball it one by one, and win out the maps.
Yeah, I mean, just to get a little more in specifically, I was just kind of breaking down some general numbers, nothing too crazy about Huso, who is really going to be the main factor in what kind of goes down here in terms of the pacing for Harrisburg, especially when we're talking about someone who plays a lot of Waylay, who's going to be used for the dive, who can then grab info, recall back out, right? Obviously, you're going to see a lot of that on Corrode. So, judging by what we saw in their RIT Orange series, he went 51, 19, and 16 on KDA throughout the two maps that they played.
Crazy.
Also had an average ACS of 365.5, so really good numbers there. The number one thing that stood out to me was when adding up the entirety of the first bloods that Harrisburg got. Granted, there is no Neon here, right? These were two games where he played Waylay both matches. He had 30.4% of the first blood share for the team. I mean, that is just absolutely amazing, especially when we're thinking about the agent that's being picked out from him.
Especially on a playstyle like Waylay, where you're popping your recall, you're dashing in, maybe getting the info, popping your saturate, and then going right back out. It's more often than not your team is going to get the kill. But he's still able to find his one and get such a high percentage of first kills just by himself.
Yeah, it's huge. And like we said before, 39% of the rounds that they won in that matchup against RIT Orange, they lost on the first blood engagement, and they still pulled out on top. So, again, these guys, it tells me that they're very disciplined, cool, calm, collected, something that we've talked about where that's kind of been a little bit of an issue in the past for St. Clair, especially on defense. Sometimes they overstep their boundaries a little bit, and it is high risk, high reward. But against a team like this, you're not running double duelist. They have a lot more utility and a lot more of an ideal around being patient. Kind of seems like a pretty good pretty good matchup for St. Clair.
Yeah, you're talking about how much utility they have. They honestly, I think HU remind me, if anyone is watching Master Santiago, they remind me of Bangshim. Danby is more often the solo duelist, playing a lot of Neon, a lot of Wele by himself, but still leading the scoreboard in terms of first kills, amount of kills in the entire series, and kind of being able to take over and disrupt a game however he pleases, and his team is right there to back him up. It's honestly really nice to see, especially from a collegiate team, to be playing at this high level with this much understanding of how they want to approach the game. Even playing, in my opinion, off meta, it doesn't matter. If you play off meta and you're still able to make it work, that is makings of a really, really good team.
Yeah, and I mean, if enough people then start to do it, then guess what? That's your new meta
now.
So,
yeah.
Hey, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to split a stray, and it's going to be the things that work out. Because, hey, if you're playing for the meta, that's great. Percentage-wise, it definitely looks to be helping you, but it also means that you're predictable. Everybody knows what you're going to be doing. So, for this team to kind of be a little more of the off-meta playstyle really helps them out. And hey, you know what? That could be why these guys were kind of thinking about the changes they were going to make to maybe counteract the fact that Harrisburg doesn't really play a whole lot like your typical team that we go up against here. Now, these guys also, they have been known to run a little bit of chamber on bind, specifically IN, which is kind of funny because Owen was saying that apparently that guy is like 27-28 and he's still pulling out, hitting shots on chamber, and if he's not there, then he's running the Cypher, right? So, again, the entirety is, yes, look for Huso and Shadow to be the ones who, if they can really get going, they become extremely dangerous to control. But the entire team, I mean, I'm just going through their game logs in the pre-show. They are extremely consistent. There's not usually a map or a game where it's like one is extremely lacking behind the others.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool to see that throughout the entirety of CVAL, these guys have stayed, for the most part, tight-knit as a group, not only just in and without the server, but also on the stat lines as well.
It really goes to show how long and how much practice they put in as a team, because they know their permaban. They just get that out as soon as humanly possible. Just get your permaban out as soon as possible and work on all your maps. If all your maps are good but not great, you should be able to beat a lot of teams, because some teams, their map pool is very polarizing. They have one map that they look like absolute deities. They could win VCT champs on that map alone, and then other maps where they would get beaten by a team of 5 irons. So it's nice to have that sort of stability where all your maps are looking more of the same.
Right. And hey, you know what? At the end of the day, talking about maps, we already saw map bans and picks come up real quick. We can quickly gloss over those after, but I looked at Harrisburg's map pool and how they've played so far in CVAL. Now, looking at the bans and picks and how this correlates to it, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm St. Clair, you know, I'm a little bit confident, but I'm also a little bit worried.
Yeah.
So the number one thing is obviously for Harrisburg, they picked Corrode, right? They only have played it once throughout CVAL, at least from what we have, for what we know.
Yeah.
But they won it, right? So technically, 100% win rate. The one thing is we also know that St. Clair, this is a map they're extremely good on as well, especially the one to watch, JP on the Vito for most times. Now, obviously, that could be subject to change. We don't exactly know just yet. But from what we've seen so far in CVAL, this man holds down B like nobody's business.
Literally exactly like the KJO. That man locks down that site every single time, nearly completely by himself, by the way. Like, I don't know how he does it, just holding it completely alone and taking the timings that he takes some disgusting timings right when you really wouldn't expect a sentinel to peek you. He's just peeking and you're gone. You're dead. You can't play the game.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of what put his name on the map when he was in Cumberland, and that's why he's here, is because, well, we've realized what talent he has, and we brought him in, and so far, he's definitely shown to fit the part. The man is just completely blown through any expectations that I had of him of the beginning, and to see his growth and how he's really adapted and kind of gelled on this team, it really is beautiful. But then we go to Haven, right, being our second pick. The bans that came out, obviously, Harrisburg, they wanted nothing to do with our Breeze. Instantly
get that
gone, got rid of all hope whatsoever. We took off their bind, which they had won 2 times previously before, so a decent record there. but we also picked Haven. Now, don't get me wrong, we're good on Haven as well. Harrisburg, they have a 75% win rate on Haven in general, whether it's been picked by them or against them. So the whole point is, you got two good Haven teams. This is going to be a little bit messy in terms of what to expect here, and it's going to be a little bit different. We know how Huso kind of works a lot more on Waylay. It's been a little while since we've seen it on the Neon, but we know that in Haven they love to bring it out.
Oh yeah, Haven is going to be the most mid-roundy map of all time. We're going to really see teams come up with good strategies, especially in the pre-round, of how they want to approach that specific round. Because if a team has the wrong read or has a bad call, the other team, they're going to snowball and take that chance as soon as possible, and it can really show up in like the worst way possible that the map is just over.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's so insane when you think about sort of the splits between these two teams and what can really happen, especially when you look at the fact that Harrisburg, right, they started on the Haven defense. Now, I know of days of old, St. Clair, their Haven attack, disgusting. So this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. On Corrode, obviously, we got it picked against us, so we chose the defensive side of things. JP, if he can get off to a hot start, he'll start off cooking right now for St. Clair. That would be definitely one of the win cons that you got to pay attention to. The bans for Pearl and Abyss come through. Who would have guessed, right? And all of a sudden, we are left with split. Harrisburg on the defensive side, they do not have a logged game on split through screenshots on CVAL at all.
This entire semester, no split played. It's kind of crazy.
Makes me think that they might have to win off 2. If this one goes to a third mapper, St. Clair, we know they have experience on split. It was just recently that we saw one man, Isaac Walton, drop Arctic Monkey's performance on split, 505 ACS for those who didn't catch it. It was an absolutely generational performance, and we're about 2 minutes out from game time. So, listen, I got St. Clair in 3 if it goes the distance. If Harrisburg want to get out of this one, to me, they got to get it done in 2.
Yeah. Me personally, just looking at maps and the fact that on Haven as well, we can pull out the Jet or the Neon.
Yeah. Or
even if they prepped it a secret third option of Yoru, who's been played on Haven a lot more, I have St. Clair taking it in 2, honestly.
It's bold, but you know what? To me, I just hope, right, that if St. Clair are making the changes that they have said that they may or may not dabble in, that we could be seeing, I really hope it's just not more of an overcomplication of things to come. As it looks like we have a little bit of a sneak peek here. We won't exactly say anything until Agent Select comes out on the board, but there is one thing that I will say, consistency seems to repeat itself.
Yeah. And no matter what, the teams are going to stick to what they know, and it's very nice to see that confidence. You need to bring it, especially into this first map. I know you favored St. Clair on the defense side, and I do too, honestly. I see JP being a very big factor, and that first map is actually going to be Corrode, not Split, converse to what the graphic says. But I see JP hopefully having that big start you were talking about, and I also want to look at Instinct. I want to see how well and effective he can be today, especially this early.
So this is where it really comes through as a little bit of a difference. If you notice, obviously, Woody is on the Omen right now. He is the lone smoker for St. Clair. Usually would be on the Fade. We've seen him here in loads of times before. So Woody, Seth, and Tillo, they've swapped up. And this is something that that they were talking about. Woody going from info to smokes for this map. Tillo going from flex to info. And then now Seth going to go from that smokes role to flex on the Sage, right?
Yeah.
This is the changes that they were literally talking to me about when you saw in the replay there from me talking to JP. Zhao kind of gave me a little bit of insight on this change right here. To me, I think it has all the potential to work and all the potential to fail. St. Clair, the start of their games are extremely deciding on how they perform throughout the entirety of the series. If they start off hot, things are looking good. If they start off bad and low, things seem to snowball. So I get it. It's early on in the series, but these rounds truly do mean a whole lot. And we'll see who's going to be able to come out on top and move on. We got CVAL playoffs, round 1, Corrode. Let's get into it.
I like this little default going here for HU. Seth is going to be able to spot out one shoulder. Has to pop the wall. It's going to get
fall back here.
All that info gathered. He made a lot of time through mid, and the right click through the smoke does not go in Seth's way as Taunt is able to pick up one.
And a really good TP there from Taunt, just getting all of the intel and also taking space extremely early. And now because of this, look at Harrisburg. They're just flooding straight into the CT side of things. Already prepping the paranoia, looking for the player rotating in from spawn. Instinct just knifing that deadlock wall that you see on the A-Link side of things. And that'll probably reveal his position and his intentions, but none of Harrisburg. They don't really seem all that worried about this. St. Clair, they have a triple lurk going for them. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out here, Lello.
Yeah, this proactivity from Harrisburg, instantly deciding to plant for spawn and take that space, as JP is going to take the first engagement, note out the waylay. His teammates now starting to
that net nade.
Yeah, this net is so dangerous, man. They have to get out of it, and the time on the spike should be over. Shadow is able to pick up 2 for himself. Tillo finds 1 with the trade, but that's the first round on the board for Harrisburg.
Man, that's absolutely huge use of utility, especially paired with the Fade Haunt as well. There was really nothing that both St. Clair players could do in that debacle, as Woody and Instinct just had to kind of sit there and accept fate. Unfortunately, Harrisburg playing proactive, and, well, it seems to reward them. They get rid of the St. Clair triple up on the lurk side, and now they're going to see if they can convert off their pistol win.
Yeah, this attack half is going to be very integral for Harrisburg, because if they're able to get onto the site and get the spike down safely, in essence, that should be the round. Instinct instantly going to fall to the outlaw from Taunt, as IAN on the other side of the map kills Seth. Now left in a 5v3. They have to try and get proactive, but Ianson and Huso read all of it as the team ace and Flawless come through for Harrisburg.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just not, not obviously the best start, but at the same time, it's what you expected, right? Obviously, they have the gun gap, and it's by a large margin. St. Clair going to be able to buy this round, and this is really going to be where things are going to get interesting. You obviously don't want to get off to a shaky 0-3 start, especially when you're making changes and giving Harrisburg that bonus to their eco. So right now, round number 3, St. Clair, this is your time that you need to make a stand early, and again, like we've said, usually for most sides, I would be like, okay, hey, you know what? It's still early into the game. St. Clair, they're a team that need to lock in the beginning. It usually carries the momentum going forward. So JP sitting close in the pocket, going to have to be very careful of how he utilizes this height and what he can convert on, as immediately Vito TP shot out. But it's going to give him a little bit of intel, at least on Huso's positioning. Has to get out real quick, as Paranoia is still going to be able to hit him. Instinct going down, and trades going back and forth right now. JP is going to have to claw back a few if he wants St. Clair to have the numbers advantage once again, but Ianson going to have different thoughts and opinions. Harrisburg looking really good on their site take.
Yeah, Ianson was blind when he got that kill, by the way. Fully Owen blind, gets that kill. IAN is going to pick up Seth as he tries to jump through the CT smoke. Now, Woody left alone in the 1v3. Is he going to be able to clear out Ianson in this smoke? I don't think he expects it at all. Yeah, like, nobody would expect that in that situation. Unfortunate round to lose, but Harrisburg, man, they're looking very clean, very confident with their attack.
And give them credit. Obviously, this is their map pick. They are a very good Corrode team, and they're showing it right now. The deadlock is working wonders for them. Really won them the first couple of early engagements and late engagements in the first 2 rounds. This one, though, completely folded from the fact that their ability to just explode off of the Omen util is what's been giving them this transition into A site, especially in the elbow side of things. So now, Harrisburg, St. Clair, it's going to be a tough one to be in, a tough spot. Harrisburg, they just get to have as much of an advantage in terms of gun gap as possible. And that being said, hey, Instinct, a good first blood. And that's one way to start off a round if you're trying to claw yourself back into it.
Yeah, through the smoke, Instinct is able to find that pick with the Sheriff down mid, by the way. He might have 145 taunt and then just wall banged him as he was trying to run away. Lots of pressure taken off of the St. Clair side. Yes, they are on an eco, but look at this 3-stack on it. JP with the Bucky and then Instinct and Woody right there to back him up. If IN decides to walk forwards, he's going to get spotted out and noted as the smoke comes through. Now this wall from Tillo is also very nice. Just going to hear everything if Harrisburg do decide to break. They might wait out the wall, just really sit, wait for Seth, but not too much happening in terms of action.
And it wouldn't surprise me. They've been a very patient team throughout the entirety of CVAL. They're not going to switch up now. As Huso going to find his way in, immediately whips out the shorty, and he's going to make do on a huge pickup right there from Seth. Clears out the default area, and now can really start working with his team to establish a spike plant. It's going to go down. IN elsewhere going to be able to find another pick. He's completely controlling the mid side of things. JP with the refrag, but now in a 2v2, St. Clair, they need to make it work. Unfortunately, the long-range engagements are not going to favor them. They've got pistols. Harrisburg, they got the rifles in hand, and they're going to be able to take this one as well. Give them 4 clean ones, as we could be heading to map 2 in quick fashion if things don't start to change soon.
Yeah, Harrisburg, they're looking very proactive, especially with picking up that outlaw on every round. I want to note, especially on the 3rd round on St. Clair's bye, there were 3 players with light shields and 1 with regen. So that's a one-shot to the outlaw. Harrisburg notes St. Clair's money. They're able to keep the outlaw in all of these rounds and stack up at least 2 more rounds for themselves. As we saw JP on the camera is going to buy Instinct the Operator. IN with the Phantom just swings him and gets that kill. Thankfully, JP is able to get the trade. Alleviates a lot of pressure for St. Clair now. No Viper Wall in mid, but with the brunt of the Harrisburg attack centered on B, Woodson is going to pop the fade ultimate as Huso dashes out. Tillo is going to be able to find him through the eye. Gets 2 with taunt. That's huge for St. Clair. These smokes from Seth, even better. Oh, this reposition from Tillo. Sitting on top of the spike. They really clear him as properly as they should.
I mean, this is just tough. You're stuck in between a rock and a hard place right now if you're Harrisburg. And St. Clair, this has all the makings of a round win. I just want to see them play discipline, though. Don't overstep. Play your crosses and let them come to you. You don't even got to do any of that. Tillo, he goes unchecked, and he finds the transfer onto the 4th. Tristan heating up. He's got 4 on that round, and he gives St. Clair their first.
Very, very good round. Only dropping 1 body. JP notably is going to be able to pick up that Operator for Instinct. And now Harrisburg, if they don't win this round, they will be on a save for the next one. A very good and honestly very much needed round from Tillo. The IGL stepping up with the 4K, putting St. Clair on the board.
Now going to be seeing what Harrisburg has in response. Obviously, Instinct going to be able to keep that op as JP was able to pick it up.
Sound sensor up.
Now waiting in the wing, Shadow. We just chuck a couple of sound sensors here on this B side, but it seems like Harrisburg, they want to loop through mid and see if they can find a transition to link up with IN on the A lobby side as now all eyes looking on Instinct, has that off in hand, needs to be the one to take these shots. The Omen smoke, though, is going to do good things, you would think, for Harrisburg, and hopefully they can get this rotation off here.
Yeah, Harrisburg seems to be focusing a little bit more towards mid this round. Got a lot of util out from the St. Clair side. Tillo only down to 1 dog and no eye for about 30 more seconds.
Bring them down.
Hit by himself. Instinct with the mid-air shot is going to be able to find Ianson. And now with the recall Harrisburg, only 40 seconds left. They have to try and make something happen towards the A site. IN is going to be heard out by Seth and Woody alike. The blind and the slow wolves coming through are big. Till really had a timing, but this fatal should give his teammates all that they need towards the site. The annihilation. Oh no. He's going to get the trade, but Tillo is still going to fall. Huso, broke him out, but Huso is still in main.
Man, unfortunately for St. Clair, it's slim pickings so far, especially when you have to deal with this Viper's pit. But JP, he's going to be able to land the shots first, and now all of a sudden, St. Clair, they're fighting their way back into it.
That evolution from JP was absolutely everything. Making it, oh my goodness, Huso onto the 4K, does get the ace, but JP sticking the spike is going to be able to get that round for St. Clair. Now, JP's evolution, that caused him not to take any damage from the Viper ult.
No
honestly,
decay.
no decay, that is huge. I honestly, if he didn't pop that ult there, I think St. Clair would have lost that. That spray down between JP and the deadlock was getting a little messy, and if he was decayed, he was one shot. He was dying there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's those big plays right there that can try to turn things around from St. Clair, and it's absolutely huge. Don't get me wrong, Huso seems like he's just on a burner right now, and we know how that guy can get off to when he's on a hot start. So he'll be one to watch. The recall as well, going to make that paranoia absolutely useless for the time being in terms of picking up more positioning. But it will not come down unnoticed as it's going to be taken out by Tillo. Seth with a pair of frags himself. He's looking really good. Woody watching these two players walk out from Link, but Ianson going to be able to take both down. All of a sudden, they can try to walk up this yard play, and Instinct close with a shorty, but man, the headshot just comes out. Ianson too clean. He's making big plays happen, but in a 1v2 scenario on 30 HP, will he be able to withstand the rest? It doesn't seem to be the case. JP cleans up, and St. Clair win 3 on a bounce to get themselves within 1.
One shot to the body is all it takes for JP, and he was able to find it. Tillo, at the start of the round, with that fast elbow take, eyed through mid, and off the scan is able to wall bang that enemy Omen, which honestly was a lot towards that round of them winning. Yes, Seth did get a 3K, holding it down as Sage in main, but if Tillo hadn't killed Taunt there, that Omen blind and the smokes would have caused a lot more problems for St. Clair.
Right, and I mean, it's kind of like our last night matchup. Man, you lose your Omen within the first 15 seconds. Yeah, round's over, guys. Pack it up, go home. I mean, especially when you don't have that secondary, at least, well, you do have a secondary smokes in the Viper, but the whole point is smokes that can get you really into space. As now, Seth, he's going to find the headshot on one. The wall to go down, and not before Woody can claim 2. Tillo with another one, and all of a sudden, Harrisburg, what happened?
Oh, they fell apart. Honestly, Seth repositioned from elbow as he saw the Viper Orb landing from the lineup, is able to find 3 isolated 1v1s, gets the wall down in time, and Woody in the back. He's just right there with the Guardian. Headshot, 2 more are dead, and now you're up a 5v3. Tillo in mid kills 1, and now it's a 5v1.
Yeah, and I mean, you've established a lot of momentum here if you're St. Clair. JP, the whole team, for that matter, looking so locked.
Oh, yeah.
As they need to be sipping the matcha. Tillo, he's feeling good as now 4-4 for all. St. Clair, they've gotten themselves back into this one. 4 more rounds left to go in this half before we swap sides. We'll see whose they are for the taking. I will say, obviously, the number one thing that stands out to me on the board, the gun gap right now that St. Clair has based on the economy, but they're down a player right now. Huso pops some good damage off, but Seth is going to outlast Taunt. Shadow with a refrag, and Woody on this ramp side, he's going to be able to hold off and try to see if he can keep still. The TP, it just barely gets off. Man, it was looking oh so close. But at the end of the day, Harrisburg, they've claimed the distance needed for a potential plant. They just got to make sure they don't leave that spike in the lobby side of things.
Nearly leaving the spike down towards lobby gives St. Clair a lot more time than they really should have had. Resmoke towards elbow. I'm not sure if they do hear Huso here now. Oh, holding out the conversion pass. Does he pop it to really secure this 3v3 round? Yes, he does, but just a little ahead of it. St. Clair take their timing, take their chance, and clean up that round. Woody and JP, 5-4 for St. Clair.
Well, you're looking for a man to make it timing. Look no further than JP. You talk about the timings that are so gross. That one is so influential. You make the Waylay ult get popped. It's all for nothing, too. Man, you really grinded up those orbs, and, well, Huso, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah. Harrisburg, they did have the correct idea, but man, JP, it's like he smelt the whale ult coming. He
Yeah.
smelt it and got ahead of it, picks up 2. IN is going to get 1 through elbow, but it's instantly traded by Woody, and that's really all she wrote for the round. Now, again, on even playing fields, Ianson is going to pick up the Odin as Instinct once again buys the operator. See if a little more shenanigans can ensue. Seth on top of this wall is going to get cleared out. Just, nah, he decides to back away as quickly as possible. Now deep smoke for St. Clair, instantly going to be ignored by Harrisburg. Woody might have been able to hear that TP, but not too much in terms of fighting. Jiggles does spot 2. Now it's towards elbow. It seems Harrisburg want to fake a little bit towards his A site. Shadow sitting outside B for basically an eternity. Here Tillo pop the eye and the spam through elbow now. Harrisburg, no 3 St. Clair players argue towards A. They even get the blind out, man. That's so much value they got.
From just staying still.
Just sitting there.
And we've said it before, right? Very disciplined
Catch them.
is this Harrisburg team. And St. Clair, they're just dumping more and more util into a complete phantom pressure right now from Harrisburg. The rotate's going to come back over. And Instinct, he's going to have quite a party heading his way.
Face your fear.
Oh, yeah. Instinct, you're going to have to get one with this operator. He does find as Huso is going to pick him up instantly. Shadow, thankfully, does pop that Deadlock ultimate very early and isn't able to find any value. But now set up on towards this site. This is so hard for St. Clair to retake. Huso with the op is going to be staring into spawn, and Taunt right there with the paranoia as well. Should be really all she wrote for the round. Seth trying to get in early. Might see a resurrection being popped, turning this once again into a 4v4. Yes. On the flank. Runs into this Odin and falls instantly. JP does trade Seth with Shadow, but this should be a save for St. Clair. So yeah, they just have to pack their losses and run away.
Man, and it's just tough. There really is no helping there as 2 Odins for the side of Harrisburg. And even if you don't get one, even if you get one, it doesn't really matter. The changes they made corrode. That plant spot, the shed, only wall bangable from heavy pen weaponry now. So the Odin completely doing work there, as I think, unless I'm wrong about that. I thought that was a change that was released, or did they? Oh, they changed it so it's just not wall bangable from anything. Okay. My mistake. My apologies. Because I was going to say, hey, listen, you got 2 Odins there? If that's the case, then, man, that's just absolutely disgusting. But, okay, my apologies. I will say, though, very annoying to play against.
It's so annoying.
Nevertheless.
This Harrisburg comp is so annoying. I said it earlier. If you let them get onto the site, it's kind of cooked, honestly, because they have so much util to stall, and they have a lot of util to take the site initially. St. Clair, they need at least these last 2 rounds to be able to scrounge out something during their attack. But with how Harrisburg has been approaching every round and how much util St. Clair have used, essentially for no info or no rhyme or reason, Harrisburg, they seem to be reading St. Clair like books.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Is for 5 all, St. Clair just have to stay a little more patient. But yeah, I was going to say this Odin spam, it's going to come in one way or another, and man, that is just so annoying if you're Tillo to deal with. But when they have the info that they can play off of from the Fade and Ianson, you can immediately realize how dangerous holding anything in mid will come to be in the near future.
Yeah,
30 seconds left.
Tries to take a little bit of an aggressive angle towards A. Now only 30 seconds left in the round. Harrisburg seems to be wanting to hit this A site as Woody is going to get 200 pumped by Huso. Something I really want to note from Huso, he doesn't really pop the recall dash into the refrag. He just pops the recall, is in there. And speaking of in there, Instinct finds 2, but Shadow with the instant trade now leaving JP alone in the 1v3. Evolution is available, but with an operator and 2 vandals in your face, there's not too much you can do. Just find 1, now left at 30 HP. Does he decide to pop the evolution in this 2v1? It seems he doesn't want to. Saves it for the next round. Spike planted in honestly such a terrible spot for JP. Huso and Shadow know they just have to play time, wait in yard, and that they do. 6th round on the board for Harrisburg.
Yeah, and Harrisburg getting that round absolutely monumental. They can carry momentum now, and knowing that on their least valuable side, their less liked side, they can at least pull out a 6-6 regardless. And that round turned out really good, at least for the start for St. Clair. It was looking good. Instinct had a couple of picks going their way, but it seems like all for naught as St. Clair, they're going to have to battle from 5-6 down to see if they can equalize here. You don't want to give Harrisburg a 7th. They switch then onto the defensive side, and they're definitely a force to be reckoned with over there. So now, Huso and company, again, just taking a lot of time to make sure that they just key out every inch of this map and play patient, hopefully, for St. Clair to over-aggress. It seems to be, you know, a little bit of a point of conversation as of recently, but this time it will not matter. JP pops the evolution. He has the op kill as well. St. Clair, they're cruising to a 6-6. They just have to not throw it away.
Oh, the timing from Tillo as well. Huso had no idea. Now Shadow left alone in the 1v5. Not too much you can do, honestly. Could just get ran down by St. Clair if they so choose. 3 players through mid. Instinct does. Oh no, the pathways.
This is going to be
this
horrible.
is so toxic, man. Don't do it. The Instinct, don't do it, man. And JP
it's the 12th round. Yeah, no, do it. Absolutely do it.
JP just he doesn't get hit. He doesn't get hit because the evolution. He doesn't get hit because the evolution, man. And with the classic, just insta finds that kill, dude. Vito is with the ults is one of the most annoying agents to play against, especially if you're an initiator or a sentinel like Deadlock, because they don't die. They don't die from your util, man.
My free kill to ego
That's
boost my KD.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And it can't even happen.
Nah. You know, they had a good laugh about that one in comms after the round was over. But 6-6 is our scoreline after what seemed like a shaky start. St. Clair able to bring it back, answer in kind with 4 rounds of their own. And then evening it out, Harrisburg bring it up to 6, and St. Clair end us off at 6 once again. Now, St. Clair on the attack. Let's see how they really want to approach this. If I were St. Clair, honestly, I would try and put a bit more of a heavy emphasis towards mid. IEN is going to spot it out and be main by 4 St. Clair players. It seems they just want to go fast.
They're just flooding
as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean, they're just walking in. I mean, Seth is going to be able to find 2 immediately. It's going to free up the shed positions as well as Heaven, and then you kind of take a look down the concrete side of things through to the mid areas. These 3 Harrisburg players, they kind of just got to walk in and take their fights accordingly. There's not really a whole lot they can go off of. You do have, obviously, some utility from the Omen that can be put out, but I was going to say, for a lot of these, you got to kind of just dry swing. The alt fire as well from Seth, going to be able to find a couple as JP guns down the rest. And man, St. Clair, they take out Harrisburg from a huge flood onto B. And this is the half where I really start to think, look, JP, he controlled Harrisburg for the first little bit to give St. Clair their 6. Now, look for players like Seth, Isaac, as well, Instinct, who are going to wake up, especially when you have them on players like agents like Waylay, who are going to get a lot more use, obviously, on the attacker side of things when you can have all of your abilities work quite well with your shotguns in hand.
100%, 100%. It seems like they kind of wanted to ignore everything I was talking about. I said they should make some more space towards mid, but it seems like they just really want to hit the sites. 4-man walk down mid.
Stack.
Wait, 4-man walk down mid from HU. JP is going to find one with the Outlaw. Does note that the Omen blind is out. Is going to get sticky, but Woody, his duo, is right there to help him. Now with the Sheriff caught by the deadlock net. Do they find one? Shadow is going to get the trade on Woody, but kind of has to run away as JP now going to be held by his 2 teammates. Shadow and IEN in the...
One enemy remaining.
I
love it.
I love it. I love it. I love the toxicity. Judge going to come out. Instinct, lone man on site. Finds his as Shadow is going to fall very quickly afterwards.
Hey, listen, you know what? Were those extra shots necessary? In the words of Jorge Masvidal, they were super necessary. What are you talking about? They were super necessary. Instinct putting a little more sting on Harrisburg as everyone from St. Clair collapsing in. And, man, I mean, look, 4-man walk down from mid is quite aggressive and quite different.
Idea.
Yeah. Literally nobody on A. And, I mean, they pay for it. It's unfortunate. JP!
What was that shot, man?
That was beautiful to start out. Shadow will have the refrag, but now St. Clair, they can start walking in. Somehow, Instinct's actually going to die in that position. Ian going to be able to get out on top. The Odin making things work out for Harrisburg. And all of a sudden, man, St. Clair, the spike is in such a troublesome position. Seth, though, he's going to be able to make this one a little more favorable for St. Clair. Tillo gets the cleanup. And all of a sudden, when things look bleak, do not count out that veteran duo of Tillo and Seth getting the job done for St. Clair on another attack round.
100%. That round, first of all, JP opening us up with the pixel peek onto the Viper through her own wall is already enough. Then Ianson somehow doesn't die from the judge. 1v1 with the Odin, finds his on Instinct, and then through a smoke, kills Woody on top shed. Now in the 2v3, I thought that was a little dangerous for St. Clair, but Seth, our resident coach, Goat, is able to clean us up. Instinct does take a fast peek through mid with the Sage Wall. Gets a lot of tags on towards Ianson. With only Sheriff in hand, and with so much damage done, there's not too much you can do. IN just tries to walk down main here. JP does get the wall bang shot, but no confirm on the kill. Now, lots of damage done to HU. St. Clair, they have a lot of info as well. Not sure, they don't know that there's 3 players here in mid, but it seems like they want to split mid anyways. Instinct is going to dash now towards top mid. Does pop the saturation onto one. The Omen's line as well is going to be used now. Ianson down to 1 HP is going to get swung and instantly fall. Woody is going to find taunts and now left alone in the 3v5, sorry. Shadow, Huso, and IN. It's not too much you can do, especially when Tillo lurks up, and even with the shorty, Huso isn't able to kill Tillo. Now, Tillo, man, he's looking clean. Everyone from St. Clair is waking up, even down to 1 HP. He's just swinging anything. He's solo swinging Spawn on 1 HP, man.
And rounds like these are huge for St. Clair. Even if it's, of course, with a little bit of a gun gap, it plays all into the ego of these players here at St. Clair. We're getting picks. We think we're on top of the world. And yes, where there may be a gun disadvantage, don't mentally think that that's the case. Because then when you just absolutely destroy the enemy team, you're like, yeah, bro, I'm just better. And then you can carry that into the next round when you get an extremely bad reality check, 50-50 sometimes. Hey, listen, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm all for it, St. Clair. Take the ego where you can get it. Because right now, you're up 10-6. You've turned this map completely around. And Harrisburg, we said if they were going to win, they had to probably do it in 2. Note, they don't have split experience. And now, getting into round number 17, interesting things have to come out here if they want to make some changes before Haven happens.
Tillo is going to pull out the attack Odin. It's typed up a little bit through mid, as JP does also. But I want to know Huso. He has this operator on the B line now. If JP swings into this, this could open up a lot of the round for HU. This timing from Instinct and Taunt is so bad. It does see the gun, as Instinct is going to fall here towards elbow. Now, HU just playing their time, playing their space. JP might take this peek. Very slow walk up, just trying to make anyone from HU move on other sides of the map. Might wait for the dog, as the timing with the sidestep is so perfect. Huso's crosshair just barely not on towards JP. Now, noting out that operator. St. Clair, they have a few decisions to make if they want to re-hit towards mid, as they do with the top mid smoke.
Yeah, but for now, St. Clair, this has to be the push play. They have to make it work, but I don't think they've cleared out Ian. He's going to be able to at least get 1. And at the same time, though, the res can just come on through from Seth. Tillo with a wallbang through with the Odin, obviously, is going to make do with that. And Taunt stuck in between a little bit of a rock and a hard place. The Fade Ult coming through. JP pops the evolution. He's going to see if he can make it work. The Sage Wall is good to get St. Clair on this spike plant for free. And now, a huge hold has to happen from them. Woody with the first onto taunt, and it's so much pressure now that's on to players like Shadow that need to really convert here. You're looking at potentially 11-6 to go down, but St. Clair, they're tucked in corners, they're playing like rats, they're completely sound baiting all of Harrisburg. It really seems bleak right now, and with the backup in the position being played by St. Clair, this one near impossible.
Yeah, Huso and Shadow, they just have to save this. HU's money is looking so bad. 0 credits on Shadow and 100 on Huso. Just try and bring this operator into the next round. Very unfortunate. No shots were able to ring through for it on towards the B side, but St. Clair, they recovered very well after losing Instinct early. They just played their time, played their angles correctly, and made the correct call to hit in through mid.
And I love this. You know, if you took me back to the beginning of the semester, there are probably times where St. Clair just tries to swing all 4 through to the CT side and say, hey guys, let's just hit our shots and let's just take these challenges. They played this round so much smarter than I feel like they would have done in previous games in the earlier in the semester. And I love to see that adaptability, that change from St. Clair and just the way they think about the game in general with this stack. They've grown as a team, and their decision-making off of it has completely shown that.
Oh, a little bit of an op 1v1 here in B main. Instinct just have the attack op. It seems like St. Clair's having a little too much fun with it as the timing does not go St. Clair's way. Huso able to pick up 1. Now, once again, we've played these games before, Patrick.
We have.
What is this?
We have seen this before as well. And last time it happened, I remember a certain man with a certain Guardian got a whole lot of kills through a couple of Omen smokes. But this time, we'll have to see if it differs, as seems like for now, the answer will be yes. The drop down happens. It's not as successful as last time I saw it happen, but hey, you know what, for St. Clair, they like to have a little bit of fun, and you know what? Why not? You're up 11-6 right now. It's going to have to be Harrisburg that need to try to get this round as cleanly as possible, but they're not even going to start on the right foot, as Seth is going to find 2 immediately, opens up the site completely for St. Clair in the elbow side of things, but hold on, a play from Huso, absolutely massive, pops the recall, and now has an op angle as well. This is so tough to push for Woody, but he's gotten himself really close with that TP. Huso so low as well. A couple of shots, all that's going to require. You have the spike, you have the ult, you can TP around, and now you can isolate these gunfights.
Ian is in here so early in the middle of rotating.
I don't think he's aware of it.
He's not aware at all. Does pop the TP as lives are out. Oh no! Ian's gun does get pulled out in first instead of Woody, as that timing was almost abysmal for both sides. Oh my, if Woody had pulled out his gun a second earlier, Ian would have died, leaving him in the 1v1. Oh, that's so tragic to lose, but all in all, that's not a terrible round for St. Clair.
It isn't. It's not. Again, you have a lot of buffers to give. But with that round, Huso and company, Ian, Harrisburg, they have a little more funds to play with. They've gotten themselves back into the runnings of what needs to be their comeback. St. Clair up 11-7, but at the end of the day, this is where we start to get into the territory of they need to be the ones to close this out.
Another attack op for St. Clair. This time it's going to be picked up by JP. Seth. I nearly thought Seth spotted a pixel there. Seems he can kind of sniff out the Harrisburg players in towards mid, but once again, starting off this B default, Huso is going to take 1 shot. It's not going to result in a kill this time, as JP finds Shadow. Now, that's a big kill. No Annihilation or Deadlock Ultimate, or Deadlock Util, sorry, on towards the B site. It's very huge. IN is going to pop the Viper's Pit on A now. St. Clair, they're kind of forced in towards this B site, and notably, Instinct does not have a recall anymore.
Yeah, again, you know, you pointed out earlier the attacking op. You're certainly not very much of a fan of it, but when you got a guy like JP who can be the one on the trigger, it can definitely help in certain ways. But in that swing, I don't really know why he's the first one to walk out of that. You have an op, everyone else is rifles. Why are we doing that? But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, St. Clair, I mean, they're cleaning up on picks, and At the end of the day,
planted.
they're going to pick up the op. Tillo can keep it. And, yeah, look, if you can bring it all the way back to the CT side of things, then you can just hold them in their spawn.
Oh, it seems St. Clair kind of have a little bit of a timing. Huso near. Oh, I thought he was about to get caught out towards spawn. As this 3-man walk might be good. Does Huso really expect this? He's gonna be in their crosshairs right now as the shot unfortunately does not ring through. Instinct able to pick it up, and now on to 12. St. Clair, they're looking to close out this map strong.
Yeah, and again, don't get me wrong, you know, Harrisburg, they're not a bad Haven team by any means necessary, but at the end of the day, means they have to win 2 in a row. Yeah, I don't really know
that was
why. That's a little bit troll if you ask me, but hey, you know, at the end of the day, they're having fun, and they're up 12-7. So
a round wins a round
who's
win.
really, yeah, exactly, who's really complaining?
Yeah, Harrisburg, they have 4 ultimates into this last round. So is going to be able to buy a Phantom. Now, this could be a little dangerous for St. Clair if they overstepped. Instinct instantly popping that recall. Gets a lot of space now towards B, as Taunt is going to get noted on towards that A site. Now, knowing where at least 2 players are, St. Clair, lots of info gathered. Now bunching up towards mid. Might see a little bit of a mid walk down. Try and run Huso down. But with the pathways, man, if you're all trying to funnel into that one angle, that's really, really bad as this B split. Oh, I really, really, really like this B split. Instinct does pop that ultimate now towards mid, giving his teammates so much time. And now IAN does note out Instinct as the refract is popped, but now stuck in towards the cubby. He's going to get swung by Woody, instantly picked up and traded.
And this is just St. Clair losing gunfight after gunfight to the concrete side. Woody completely blinded from the paranoia, and he has an inkling of where some are, but not the info on all. 1 health as he's going to be able to find at least 1 kill, but unfortunately, 1 HP in a dream, not going to win you a 1v3 against Harrisburg.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Harrisburg's util, man, they have so much on their side. It seems like starting off this half, they were very uncomfortable playing their defense, and St. Clair, they instantly capitalized off of it. I mean, they brought us to 11-7 and then 12-7. So you were talking about that St. Clair attack, man. They are very, very comfortable. But now Harrisburg, they're on a bye once again, thankfully and finally. The Aug is going to get broken as they know the operator now towards A. They know Huso's here. Wants to take that timing. The eye from Tillo nearly finds its mark on Taunt. Instinct is going to fall now towards mid, but the fast B split, or A split, sorry, through yard. Seems St. Clair just want to get this spike down as soon as humanly possible. 4 players of Harrisburg are already here. Sorry, all 5 are here. Tillo now left alone late mid. Woody does find 1, needs to get 2, but it's okay. Shadow with the instant trade. Now the net and the saturation, man. It's so unlucky, man. The Harrisburg, they have the net, they have the C's, they have the saturation, they have so much util that's just so annoying for St. Clair to deal with, and it really showed it as they got into the site really early and just started the flood.
Well, we've seen St. Clair do this in the past where they run this A split, they take the plant, and then they immediately just quad box up in yard. And
yeah,
Harrisburg, they've seen it before. They know that it's going to be the same thing again. Crazy work on the utility usage to be able to isolate everyone into a really good package deal for IN and Ianson to pick up a bunch of those kills. And hey, you know what? At the end of the day, Harrisburg, they are clawing this one back. They've won 3 of the last 4. St. Clair, they're not in fraud territory just yet, but they have had issues closing out matchups in the past. They need to make sure that they can do it the same way, but Rico would beg to differ. It's not looking as good as it probably should be right now. Ianson, the pick on Woody is definitely not going to help that out, but hey, you know what, Huso? 5 HP, remaining. I don't think it's really going to matter because, man, the Fade and the Viper, they just ripped St. Clair's hearts right out of their chest.
Yeah, Instinct is left alone in the 1v5, has to face an Odin and an Operator. Instantly digged now to 20 HP. The spike is in no man's land, pun intended. So that has everyone from Harrisburg rushing it towards mid. Yeah, this flawless was honestly inevitable for Harrisburg. 12-10. This getting a little dangerous for
You're
St.
all
Clair.
more important than words.
Yeah, it
Breathe.
definitely is. Remember, this
Look
one
out
was
for
at
each
what?
other.
Was it 11-7, and then they
11-7,
had
yeah.
12-8?
Yeah.
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, listen, I mean, Harrisburg, they had their buffers, but now St. Clair, they take, in my opinion, a much-needed timeout. Thank you, Prod, for giving me the heads up, as they're going to talk things over as they should, and even if it is one to just kind of mentally decompress and remember what situation you're in, you got to note, listen, Harrisburg, they still need to claw back 2 more rounds to even force OT. You have the keys to closing this one out. It's about how you're going to use them.
Yeah, especially on this seemingly the last bye that St. Clair really have before this game goes to overtime. I think they got to go B more. I think we have to ignore mid a little bit more because of how reinforced it is with the Odin and go towards that B site that isn't bangable through HUT. Those rounds, when we confidently went towards B or A, they looked amazing. St. Clair, they're just in there, no care in the world for the Harrisburg defense, and that seemingly worked for them. Huso, especially with that operator, has notably been playing towards mid more often these rounds, and now he's on the A site. So if St. Clair, if I'm St. Clair, I want to take this fast B, which it seems like they're doing. JP also 1 away from the evolution. As yeah, this fast B should just instantly be coming in as Instinct with pop saturation instantly into the site, but no one is following him. Not even through the Viper wall, and now that Deadlock wall is just going to take so much space away from St. Clair.
That was a huge stop from Harrisburg. And not only burns time, but it's the positioning right now. St. Clair, they're really kind of having to talk things over right now. They're almost in a mini tactical timeout themselves right now in round because they don't really know what to do in this scenario. They look very stuck here, Lello.
They don't have anything. They have absolutely no space, but this B rehit could be very nice. Shadow is a little bit far away. It's going to be in CT right now, but
purely off numbers.
Yeah, they just play off numbers, but look at that stun on the left side from Shadow, and he still has the net. This could prove extremely dangerous for St. Clair. It looks like Tilla wants to pop the Fade ultimate, taking towards the site. IN is going to be left out in the open. And dude, Harrisburg, they're so patient. They haven't moved. They have not moved at all.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that St. Clair would be able to replicate the same stuff, but it seems like they have their TPs. JP on top of Shed is now going to be the one influential, but no, they're just getting ripped apart. IN with 3. Give him possibly the assist on a 4th. The Fade to clean up, and wow, St. Clair, they just simply did not have the makings for a successful take. The deadlock wall went out as Instinct rushes on through, and it cuts off his team from following him in completely. And off that, he's got a recall. He's not just going to die alone, but the whole problem is you're locked out, completely locked out. But Shadow, don't get me wrong, he only gets 1 pickup, has 3 assists too. He was the reason that they get out of that round right there, Harrisburg do, because he completely stopped St. Clair whatsoever. And this one, you gotta think overtime. It could be looming, but hold on! A man who's clawed this one back on this map time and time again, JP, pops the evolution, and he pops 2.
Now JP with that Guardian finds 2 very, very important kills. Winston with the Odin does get some tags in towards elbow, but set up now is St. Clair, and with no ultimates on towards the side of HU, should be a quick cleanup for St. Clair. If Shadow does get 1 pick, that will bring the Annihilation back as Instant and IEN find their own. Woody answers right back with a trade on IEN, now leaving Woody alone in the 1v2. This is very dangerous with the Annihilation. This round is just essentially over, and we are seeing overtime.
Man, I thought that JP had the play, but St. Clair, unfortunately, they could not hold on. Woody not looking too pleased with everyone, including himself, on that round, and it's unfortunate because you're in a situation where you don't think you probably come out of it with the win anyway, but then you get that glimmer of hope JP has clawed rounds back like this from St. Clair on Corrode time and time again. We've seen it all season long. But this one is going to have to go extra innings. 12-12 OT we go, Lello. This has the makings already for one hell of a series.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does already as well. JP does pick up that glass cannon on towards B. He's going to have to dodge this Fade Prowler if he wants to be able to take at least one shot for himself. But last time he was in this position, the Prowler did spot him out. Does pop the stopper now. It's on the line, JP. It seems HU are wise to all of these guys. All their utility is going to get broken.
Before the dash?
But while he was dashing, JP does get one kill for himself. Shadow is going to be able to find Tillo, and they're able to get onto the site. But 4v4, St. Clair, they're not in the worst position now. HU, they want to take elbow, but look, there's JP with the op. Does get dinked out as he is spotted, now forced to back away.
Oh my gosh, look at the chase though.
Oh, three players in CT. This could be good for St. Clair if they're able to get out through this choke in time.
It's just going to have to be a game of time, but for St. Clair, that is dwindling down. Seth going to be stunned out here from the deadlock scanner, but a huge pickup and no taunt. He's going to be able to claim two. Ian with a third. Instinct has one, though, and he's going to maybe stick this. Has it at half. Takes the re-swing. And Instinct, ice cold in his veins, gives St. Clair their 13th.
Tillo might say it's ice matcha in his veins, and even Instinct gets the half on the bomb while he was mid-air jumping on towards Shed, trying to get that timing. Instinct, like a shark in water, smelt the blood and it gets off, kills him mid-air. All right, St. Clair, I see you.
Man, kills through movement, the big thing in that round. We got like JP.
Oh, yeah.
I see you were calling it mid-dash. I didn't even see it. It was that fast.
The dash one dash
happens, and midway through that, JP just hits the perfect frame at the perfect time. But right now, they have to hold up because Instinct, he's been taken down before. This one really could even have anywhere to go, and the op as well. We got a glass cannon of our own. Huso's going to be the one manning it. JP, though, picks up another, but he's stuck in such a hard spot here. And yeah, he's just watching his team get gunned down all around him. No one can peek this op and survive. The op of doom and despair on A for St. Clair. It's claimed 2 so far. They need to try to get themselves back into this one, but honestly, I don't know if they're all for it. JP, he's found 2. He's taken down to 75 health. Has to TP out of here if he wants even a chance at winning this, but everyone knows his intentions. It's so obvious. Huso's going to find the last swing, and the glass cannon gives Harrisburg 3.
Yeah, Huso was very integral. He dinked, not even dinked, he hit Instinct in the legs off the initial take, putting him down to like just 20, 120. Yeah? It's 120 in the legs from the op, and then you see Taunt right there off the follow-up. Does get that headshot, you know, a little bit more style points, up the percentage a little bit. We take those every day, but yeah, Huso, big man in that round, able to find 3 with that operator and put so much pressure onto the St. Clair side. Once again, JP is going to be opping now, conversely, on towards that A site. Through the smoke, Woody's able to find that spam on towards Huso. And now, Duel is falling. See if HU are going to be able to recover at least a little bit.
Well, man, I mean, for a playmaker like Huso to go down so early, it's really got to spell bad things here for Harrisburg as 3 get gunned down, and all of a sudden, it's a man on 2 health. Has to take so many swings, and I don't think he's going to be able to deal with Instinct and a shorty in hand as St. Clair, they go back up to match point once again, 14-13, your scoreline.
Now, this is the St. Clair that we saw in the second half, having a lot of fun with it in the rounds and just doing whatever they want, disregarding anything that HU really want as Instinct walks down towards mid by himself. He just walks down, he's there, as Woody is just spamming for fun through the smoke. That is the type of play that I really like and want from St. Clair, to be able to play confidently and to your own strengths. Gibson does pick up that Odin once again now towards mid. St. Clair want to give it a little bit of a focus, but a main is going to get pressured as Huso is taken off of that operator line.
Yeah, you know, let's maybe not play Crossy Road with an Odin being spammed down mid. It seems like, you know what, they might say, hey, look, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try to go through your bluff. The paranoia dodge, though it missed, but hold on! This Odin spam, it's going to be able to find Woody, JP, and company, though. They've taken down 2, and all of a sudden, look at the press right now from St. Clair. They've completely flooded on in. Instinct, he's here with a lot of company, and they can potentially stop this from the CT side, Lello.
Oh, shouldn't not swing these. Huso with the op is going to find one.
We're not going to give him another.
JP, do not swing this. JP, if you can hear me, do not swing this. Just wait for the retake to start as the pre-fire is good. Finds 2. Now Ianson left alone in the 1v2. Seth very, very low. Antilla with no shields of his own. Need to make some sort of hero play. Ianson is on 70. Seth does note him out now. Down to 30. Oh, that dink. That dink is everything, man. Seth with the shorty to look left and right. The timing isn't good. It's not to his favor.
Oh, no. You can at minimum half this. There's no shot.
The eye misses.
With the timing as well. And I got to say, someone's got to take a swing or he's got to stick. St. Clair, they find a way out of it.
15-13, that overtime. St. Clair able to win it out. JP smiling. Everyone is smiling and happy with that win. Yes, it was a shaky second half leading into the overtime, but I'm glad they brought it back. I'm glad they were able to have fun with it and win out in the end.
Man, and that's Harrisburg's map.
Oh, yeah.
Rug swept from underneath their feet. Now they got to go to St. Clair's home turf of Haven. And we got St. Clair starting on attack as well, for that matter, as, man, I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to pull out there. But such a close matchup for map 1. What a game.
Actually, what a game. So many, I don't even want to say shenanigans, just amazing things ensued on both sides of the map.
Oh,
JP killing one through the dash, Huso getting a 3K with the op on their defense in OT, and that's only the OT rounds. That's not even mentioning the entire game that was played previously. It was a really good map, and I'm very happy with the play from both sides, from St. Clair and HU. HU, they're patient, man. They are steady as rocks.
We were talking about it beforehand. This game really showed it. Like,
oh yeah.
I get it. You're not running the double duelist, so it's okay. You know, who would have thought? But they really do bring it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see if they can bring it to a whole nother level though on Haven when we come back. Harrisburg stepping into St. Clair's stomping grounds.
One enemy remaining. Slow them down. One enemy remaining. Last. There. Don't miss me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready for map number 2 of CVAL Playoffs, Round 2, Champs East. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Lelo Yuji Masilelo. And we have St. Clair going up against Harrisburg Storm. We just got out of a barn burner on Corrode, map 1, 15-13. Your scoreline, huge plays being made by the usual suspects on Corrode. JP being, I believe, the MVP of the team, as now it's going to be Harrisburg. They need to step into our stomping grounds, our pick of Haven. St. Clair starting on attack, and I mean, man, Zhao
nearly dropped
just
30, man.
He doesn't look. He didn't even have the op for a good part of this game, as he usually does. That role was kind of being put on instinct early, as immediately you get to see that after in the late game they started to kind of pass that operator a little more to him, and he took off running for the hills.
Yeah, 100%. And Woody, conversely, looking very, very clean in his own right. Right there, matching JP pace for pace, as Seth, Tillo, and Instinct right down there to support the entire team and be able to get that win. I really want to note Tillo's utility usage throughout that game. He had so many eyes that scanned people and just giving St. Clair the info. Even if they aren't able to produce a kill from it instantly, just getting that info is huge. Now, conversely, on the HU side, a lot more even. 20s across the board, except for Taunt. Hey, I get it, Taunt. I've had worse games. I had a game where I went 1 and 22. But it okay. 20 kills for IEN, 21 for Ianson, Huso, and Shadow, 23 and 20 for themselves.
Now, I don't really know if IN really went 20 and 5, considering you lose 15-13. Now, listen, if it were me, if that's on your team, and you're telling me that a Viper's baiting y'all out to the point where he only has 5 deaths on a 15-13 loss,
I would be mad.
Yeah, no, somebody's getting cut in the offseason. That's all I'm going to have to say. Look, hey, great game, though, from Harrisburg all around. As we noted it before, stat-wise, these guys usually keep pretty close to each other. And it was kind of how that one worked. St. Clair, they matched them in that capacity as well. Good performances overall from Woody and Tillo. JP really being the star of the show. Seth only 2 off from net 50-50. Or net even, sorry. And look, for players like Instinct who just didn't have the great game in game number 1, at the end of the day, it's okay. Breathe. You're back on Haven now. It's a completely new map. You can now run a Neon Masterclass with your op down A shorter bricks, whatever you really want to hold, because we know what he can do with that in hand. So now, St. Clair, they go to Haven. They're going to be starting on attack, actually. So those comments that I mentioned about Neon on an op, you're going to have to wait 12 rounds for that one. That's a little bit of a pre-fire. But for St. Clair, they have the ball in their court. They can score with it. They have the ability to put Harrisburg down to the lower bracket in 2.
Yeah, 100%. And we're talking about Haven. I'm expecting a little bit of a Neon matchup, honestly.
Yes.
We know that Huso likes to play the Neon. And Wele not being as effective on Haven, Neon is his only real other option unless HU pull out something we haven't seen whatsoever and get a Yoru. We haven't seen a Yoru from either team really at all.
Kind of weird considering all the matchups we've kind of covered in the past leading up this semester. It really has been the Yoru masterclasses.
That's the meta, man. You need a Yoru. If you are running double duelist, Yoru is the piece that you need every single time, and neither of these teams have liked nor played Yoru at all, which kind of surprises me, but if you're 4-1, you can do whatever you want.
Look, after, let's just say they get stomped by St. Clair, you think we're going to see Harrisburg putting out a neat post? Taking all Yoru main applications, we need to no longer be the sheep that strays from the pack and runs single duelist. Hey, look, you know what? It's been a working formula for them all throughout CVAL so far. I doubt they're going to stray from it and change up now.
No,
when you're this deep into a season, you're living and dying on a whole lot of hills. It's not usually good to be changing up this late on, but it really tells you the talent that St. Clair has. Because we're able to do it, and hey, we just took your map off of you. Cry more. I don't know what to tell you. But now we're on to Haven. Going to be interesting to see if these changes repeat themselves, if they're going to stick with this sort of switched-up comp between Woody, Seth, and Tillo sort of swapping roles interchangeably, or if they're kind of going to go back down to basics.
It seems St. Clair, you were talking to the players earlier, and they had an idea of how they wanted to change, but especially after winning that first map in the fashion that they did, your enemy's map pick, they might not want to change it, stick to their guns, be comfortable, and keep the confidence for this map of Haven. So it's really a toss-up, honestly. If they want to change it, show us something new, show us that they can do something new, or if they want to be confident and comfortable and just play Haven how they know and how they have rarely lost on.
Right. Well, you know, looking at obviously the sneak peek that we have, I'm seeing right now that it looks like what you've just said, Lello, has really kind of come through and is going to play out the exact same way. I'm seeing some different looks here from St. Clair that I haven't seen. Some, as of recently, some old scenes, if you are a Saints fan from like 2-3 years ago. Depends. But for St. Clair right now, this is their territory. They need to make sure that they can defend it. Harrisburg, they're stuck between such a wall and a hard place because you're looking at this series, you're like, man, we just lost our map pick. We just played 28 damn rounds of Valorant for nothing, essentially. And now we got to switch up our mental and somehow switch over to new, and we gotta now win 2 maps in a row ongoing, one of which that we haven't played so far this semester.
Yeah, Harrisburg, no split on record, especially in this map pool. I want to say split is one of the better maps in the map pool, but having no playtime on it, if this goes map 3, is only really going to hurt us, as the map is going to suddenly and mysteriously transform into Haven, but that was intended from the beginning. As I was talking about earlier, that Neon matchup, man. This Neon 1v1 is going to be so important. It seems Harrisburg have a little bit more support for their Neon with the Omen Paranoia, the Dart, and the Breach. The Breach is the real big shower for Harrisburg, and if they're able to use Breach correctly, I think Harrisburg have a really good chance on both offense and defense.
Yeah, and I mean, St. Clair, they're going to be coming out and running this comp with the Sova. Obviously, I haven't seen Tillo play Sova in a hot minute. Usually, if he's playing any sort of scans, he's on the Fade. But on Haven, he's usually the one on the Killjoy, right? The KJ.
Yeah.
But this time, going to be back on the Sova, as I haven't seen that for a long time. Seth going to be on the KJ to run this one down. Woody keeping on Smokes as he did map 1. But again, kind of a bit of a switch up from what we're used to seeing. Instinct on the Neon and JP. We know about the timings. He loves to play on this Viper. Yes, while listed as a controller, plays it very much like a Sentinel. You can essentially say St. Clair running a double Senti lineup, but unlike the playstyle of Sentinels, they're not trying to slow this one down. The Neon's done to try to stop the C-Long flood, but they are in there like swimwear.
Oh, they are in there, and this dart landing in from A is so huge from Tillo, as JP and Woody are able to find one for themselves. Taunt finds one, and now left in the 4v2. Harrisburg, they have no space, no time for themselves. Ianson, no util, but Shadow finds one now through the Viper orb. They're in here very early, but Tillo is wise, as JP with the swing helps out his teammate, and pistol on the board for St. Clair.
Holy flood down
they
C
ran in there.
long. And that, I mean, that's what you have to do, though, right? When you have the Neon on the board, and look for Harrisburg, it's a really good job of using the opposing Neon stun to slow down that rush. But when you have the Omen smoking off everything that you need to, and you got JP really close up and personal on C as he is in that camera shot, it is so tough to dismantle this St. Clair team. They take the first round, and they're looking like they want to carry their momentum over from Corrode.
Yeah, it looks like St. Clair, this fight is looking very different, but it seems they had stabilized it now with only one ghost coming in for Seth. Instinct does have that judge. Might want to just get in this smoke early and take the timing. But in mid,
Seth. Smoke through grass.
Yeah, this walk down in mid, Seth's turret did get broken. So he does spot out one. Just has to run back as soon as he can. Now St. Clair kind of shifting over towards that A site now, as Huso is going to be in here with the Bucky and the stun in hand. This Neon Stun, man, it can do so much damage and just put a complete pause on whatever push any team wants. Now the jump peak is not going to be good for Huso. His Instinct is already flying in here. 200 pump from the Bucky. Does go his way as he finds 2, nearly 3. Tillo with the instant trade, but Shadow picks out the Judge back sight. Finds one for himself. Now Taunt TP's in the corner. Woody's left alone now in the 1v4. IEN on the flank finds him. And that's a bad round to lose for St. Clair.
That is a horrible round to lose for St. Clair, and this completely switches up the game 2 rounds in instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams, don't get me wrong, they got to look to now convert on this next one, but Huso and company with that Bucky, that was really such a trendsetter for the rest of the round to go. Obviously, you know that Shadow picks up the Judge, and now is going to actually be able to toss that Judge down over to Huso, and St. Clair, they're going to have to just save here. You want to be able to obviously have stuff to buy for the first buy round of the half and round 4.
Instinct is going to get swatted by the dark with that blue flash. Man, it is so strong and impressive. His Instinct is left alone, just jumping for joy. Can't do much. And already, even with the spike down, we're in a 2v5, Patrick. This is so hard for St. Clair to try and make any sort of real damage or chance to come back in this round.
It's like being broken in tennis, right? I mean, it's tough. You don't want it to happen. And when it does, it can spell real doom and gloom of a 2-set swing. So now, St. Clair finding themselves down 2-1 despite a great first round. Harrisburg showing that they still have quite a lot of grit and fight in them. Got to watch out, obviously. Keep your mental cool if you're St. Clair. You have the opportunity to bring this one back into decent standing.
Yeah, Harrisburg, they're just stacking up their money, man. 2 players with 6K. Even if they lose this round, they can all buy, and Huso can get an op.
Yep.
Which is, it's just insane. Winning that second round, it just steamrolls the economy so quickly. But St. Clair with pretty standard defaults. KJ turret down towards mid as the Cypher trip is thankfully going to get broken now. No drone or dart in hand for Tillo. Shock dart does hit Huso for a little bit, but still are not aware of this Judge in Garage. Oh, Ian Sin. Oh, the wall bang on Instinct, man. Losing your Neon so early. Very, very tough as Tillo has no idea. He's just going to fall to this Judge. And even with the stun, so much time for HU. He just doesn't care about the Vandal, man. He just keeps the Judge.
I was going to say, I mean, if you just keep the Judge in Garage, the whole point is that presence alone is so damning. You can just hold that in St. Clair. They won't be able to really make any movements through Garage whatsoever. That essentially locks off C in total. So long as you keep your presence made, you can force everybody over to this B side. They're aware of it on the side of Harrisburg, and it's completely played a massive advantage. As now Ianson swinging through, hits a nasty flick, and he's going to be able to have the micro onto the third as well. Ianson on the breach. Give him 3 with the Guardian, taking Harrisburg to their third round.
Yeah, nice little 4K from Ianson in that round, getting closer and closer to the Rolling Thunder. Even before any team has hit 5, getting 1 Rolling Thunder here could be huge. That means you could get a second one in the same half, and we all know how impressive that breach ult is, man. We know how strong it is, and if he's getting these kills, getting as many orbs, he's 1 away. He is 1 away. So close to the half, it's looking dangerous. Huso does get the outlaw to save for the op next round, seeing as St. Clair is on such a low buy, and man, that breach stuck down longer. Very oppressive, but with 3 players out, Hans is instantly going to fall. Now with the breach flash, it's trying to retake. It seems St. Clair nearly over everything. Woody left alone now in the 1v2 does pop the Omen ultimate. This is a little strange on this eco. Both players of HU have Vandals. Let's see how he plays this to try and bring this back. Honestly, I see a little TP through heaven, or he just wants to play time.
For me, it almost feels like it's a little more on the desperation side of things. St. Clair, they really do not want to be heading down 4-1, especially when I know how good their attacks can be. So now, you're going to see if you can convert on anything, but you can't. And unfortunately, in a round where you're on an eco, you burn the Omen ult as well, and there is no intrinsic value gained whatsoever. St. Clair in a tough spot, 4-1 down to Harrisburg. But if it's any team that I know can come back from being down early, it's this one, remnants of what we just saw in Corrode.
Well, definitely 100% they can. I thought the C-Take wasn't bad whatsoever. They trades just flying through back and forth through all of them. I thought they had a real chance, but now Harrisburg, Huso with the up, with the ultimate, Shadow with the ultimate, Ianson with the ultimate. This round is looking so dangerous and scary for St. Clair, but Instinct does pick up the attack off, as we know he loves to do. Just take one peek and one shot through towards A. Instantly now, he's on that C site.
I mean, I made the comment earlier that I may have pre-fired the Instinct op. We might have to wait until defense. Nope. Nope, not at all. And you know what? I should have known better, because we just saw in Corrode that St. Clair, they really don't care. Op shiny, op look good, pick it. I mean, hey, you know what? It worked out for them on Corrode. Maybe it's what they need to get through. As now, Tillo trying to see if he can kind of find something through Garage. If anything, the Cypher has found him in St. Clair's motives as the cages go down, and there is so much unknown right now to St. Clair. The Hunter's Fury comes through as well. This is going to really assist Harrisburg as Tillo going to go down to it, and all of the positioning known. The retake on C. JP able to get one. So hold on here. It's not exactly over. I was going to say, you know what, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, because unfortunately Huso has an op. In a 2v1 scenario, you know that the players have to come from a little longer Garage, but that's a crazy shot that you just hit there. And in a 1v1, see if you can back up, make the distance. Seth, do not swing the CT side right now. Just get that plant down. The wall bang comes up just a little bit short. The make from the distance. The shorty in hand, but it does not matter. Seth backs up just enough to put the Neon in an awkward spot. Hits the headshot over the boxes, and St. Clair, they're able to claw one back.
No matter the jump peak, Seth is going to be able to pick up that kill, and thankfully another round for St. Clair. Yes, it doesn't put too much of a dent into the HU economy, but we got to bolster that St. Clair morale, man. That is a round that we needed and desperately wanted. Now, St. Clair, I believe they have the advantage. Seth does have to lock down Tillo with the Hunter's Fury and JP with the Pit. Let's see if St. Clair change their default at least a little bit to try and bait out some of the HU players. Ianson swinging through the front B smoke instantly knocks down Seth as Instinct takes some damage here towards A long.
And this is where I start to get worried, because Instinct 0-6 right now. I didn't want to bring it to light, but obviously he hasn't dropped a single kill yet. And we're getting to the stage in the game where we've seen this before, where sometimes he gets a little bit frustrated, he swings things a little bit early, he's desperate to try to get himself moving, but in doing so, he screws himself over in the long run. And we saw it, honestly, in the last run when he got gunned down on C-Long with the Outlaw, just dry swing it before the smokes even went down. So right now, Instinct needs to get back locked in and moving. This op hopefully will get him to do so, but the Cypher ult going down as well. Ayen calming to his team. They all know exactly where these players are. Moving down Garage, Woody at least trades back Tillo, but at the same time, got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that neural theft from Ayen is everything, giving so much information to the HU side, and Instinct put down to 50 HP with this operator. This round seems all but lost. They might even elect to save it, honestly, and I would not be upset at them if they did. Smoke is going to fall as Instinct does pick up a kill towards Shadow, now instantly repositioning towards Garage, but no. Huso is long with the operator, now Woody in the 1v3 is just going to get overwhelmed and flashed as Ianson picks up that final kill.
Man, I gotta move my chair a little bit more to the right. The softbox on the light there was kind of blocking up the mid-map. I didn't even realize that the Neon had made their way all the way through to that C-Long side. So, Yeah, I was just like, let me move myself over just a little bit there.
bit.
Just a little bit. Hey, we're all good now. My bad on that one. But, hey, you know what? For St. Clair, they, again, it just seems like it's a little more on the composure side of things that's kind of breaking down. IN having a huge pickup there on the Viper through Garage and JP, and then he's going to be able to pop the ult. And from there, it's kind of a done deal. Everyone knows where everyone on St. Clair is, and now they're forced to kind of get back into a little more of an eco situation. Harrisburg probably looking like a 6-2 to start off through your first 8.
Yeah, this half is looking very, very dominant for Harrisburg, at least in its initial stages. It seems Woody wanted to take matters into his own hands. TPing very close towards front B is going to be able to spot out taunts. And now instantly St. Clair shift towards that garage angle. But look at Harrisburg, man. They're already walking up A long, 2 players. And then they have the operator down towards short. This retake is going to be hard for HU if St. Clair aren't able to play their time correctly. Oh, the overdrive is going to get popped from Instinct so early. Unfortunately, no players from Harrisburg are here. And now with all the time in the world, it seems St. Clair want to be able to at least find anything. JP is going to pop the Viper's pit. Now down towards CT, kind of funneling Harrisburg where they don't want to be. Oh, Woody and Tiller left in the worst position. Too much util in your face as Shadow picks up 2. Seth with the trade, but Huso with the op in Garage finds 1. Now JP with the bandit as Instinct with the classic can get 1, but that should be all she wrote as IN through CT finds that pick.
Man, and that's so huge as they're going to be able to take the round off of St. Clair. And how many ults get dropped? I believe it was 3. You burn the KJ ult.
Yeah, 3 ults.
And the pit. And
I
mean, that is horrible. And you don't even get the round win. I get it. You're on an eco round. You're like, okay, well, we got to get something going. You play off the ults. But unfortunately, the gun gap, too large of a distance to be made up. St. Clair, they can at least buy for themselves here. But they're going to find themselves in the same cycle. If they can't win one of these rounds, it's just going to be this back and forth between buying and having the eco, buying and having the eco. They need to get themselves some security. They need to win this round if they want that.
100%. This buy is so important as Tillo is going to pop that Hunter's Fury very, very early on towards that C site. No dart coming through, and IN on logs again finds 1 onto Instinct. JP with the instant trade, yes. As the spike is going to get planted. Taunt, oh my goodness, he's flanking. Thankfully, Tillo on C lobby is there and is able to spot him. He's going to get cancelled, but now out everyone. Woody nearly finding his pick. JP in the corner. This could be huge from him, but no, taunt clears it as Shadow finds the pick on towards Woody. Tillo gunning down 2 is able to find his kills as now Seth left alone in the 1v1 with Huso. The operator in his hands. This would be huge. This neon wall. Did he hear him? I'm not sure if Huso did hear Seth. He has no time to wrap. He just has to stay towards long. Has to wait for the jump.
Oh, what a dodge.
What a time. Oh, my goodness. Now, Huso, low time. You have to stick it. No time at all. Seth, he played his time and his cards perfectly, giving St. Clair their 3rd.
Wow. I mean, that is so risky there. I mean, even if he gets hit through the wall, right, on the jump peak, he's dead. He doesn't have the HP to survive that. So, again, Huso had the opportunity to land quite the shot to propel Harrisburg through, but St. Clair, they're able to just barely get by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, that was a very, very tricky and dangerous round. Lots of things I want to say went wrong for both teams. Tillo popping that ultimate very early with no dart scan was a little odd, but they were able to take the site, so whatever works, works. This breach done. We haven't seen St. Clair go towards that A site, but it seems they want to fake it. They insta-darted, and now Shadow, he even sent the dart over from A towards C. Still here towards Graffiti, as Huso is going to be able to join him towards Heaven. Might get a timing on these short players. 3 players of St. Clair walking up towards short. Does Instinct find his 1? No, Shadow finds 2. Huso in Heaven finds 1 pick towards Woody. Now Seth and Tillo left alone in the 1v3. Oh my goodness, sliding in towards Heaven.
My God.
This Yuso guy is styling. He's just freestyling, man. He's doing whatever he wants.
Hits the slide on the ledge of the window to propel himself on top of the box. I mean, that is
crazy.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
And then gets the pick for it as well.
Yeah.
Well deserved from Huso and for Harrisburg in general. And I mean, to me, it's simple. Shadow gets away with way too much there on Graffiti. To be able to kill two, it's such a common angle as well. It's one that you would expect to be cleared out almost instantly when the first man swings through, but nope. Of course, it's just not this time. And two go down in the third, low health as well. Instinct, he's got to try to make the difference here, but the gun cannot cock fast enough. Could have been looking at a two-piece, but hold on, St. Clair. They can at least make it back and show that Instinct did not lose his life in vain. 4v2 situation. Hopefully they're round to win, but if Taunt has gone unnoticed, he can make a huge impact in this round. Now, granted, he is straight up full walking, and now, obviously, with the shot on the alarm bot, they know about his whereabouts.
Oh, does Woody peek him here? With that operator, that timing is so perfect for Woody. And now Shadow left alone in the 1v4. Tillo is going to be able to spot him out with the Bucky just trying to get some shots. And the Bandit finds that pick. Nice, big thrifty for St. Clair. I wanted to say beforehand that they needed to win that round. They need to make this a 7-5 to have a real chance of coming back.
Yeah, they absolutely had to. And, hey, you know what? St. Clair, you at least have the makings of what could be a respectable half, knowing that you'll go on to your defensive side soon. But now, Harrisburg, an 8-4 would be monumental for them compared to a 7-5. I mean, we both know that. So, for Instinct and those in company, this round being, that much more significant for them. And the garage clear comes through. Unfortunately, Shadow on the Huntress Fury, I don't think he even got a tag.
No tags.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely massive. Woody with another pick. This is looking all St. Clair thus far in a 4v2. They're going to have to clear out some more space, and they're going to be able to do just that. Taunt not going to be able to muster up the strength to hold down St. Clair's 4 players, and they've claimed a 5th. Swapping over to the defensive side, that's a massive round. This one, not all she wrote by any means.
Wait, what agent is Woody playing again? What agent is he playing?
I believe the Omen, the primary smoker.
You sure it wasn't Vito? It looked like he popped an evolution and just dodged every piece of util that Harrisburg sent at him. How is he not blind by that Omen blind through A when the 2 teammates in front and behind him are? It's, you know what? Anything works as St. Clair take that round into their hands.
Because he's Woody. I don't know what to tell you.
That was so tough.
Listen, there's not a whole lot that goes into it. And right now, the ex-Cumberland duo, they've been the ones really pulling the reins right now for St. Clair. But you got to try to see if you can get ahead. And right now, it needs to be the entire team that needs to step up as a unit. Huso taking Garage very swiftly, and Instinct's going to be able to find the first pick onto IN. That's the Cypher going down, and all of a sudden, Harrisburg, they have to switch up and up the ante. Taunt with 2 as well. Massive frags coming through. Harrisburg, they take C in force.
Oh, Instinct, he's in here very, very quickly as he's sick and tired of that previous half. Oh, utility out. Tillo is going to fall, but Shadow's left to 10 health. Instinct, he's full. He's just holding, just waiting, baiting. Ooh. Taking his time with this swing. He's going to see his shoulder and finds that pick for himself. You even heard it out there in the back. He's yelling. He is roaring. Instinct is back in this map.
Yeah, he definitely is, and this is the perfect time to unlock right now, Isaac, because your team needs it. You are on the cusp of being able to potentially design your destiny for how you're going to look at this in the future. A little bit of a tech pause coming through here, but this is a huge round. If you win this right now for St. Clair, you also get next weekend off. There are a couple things that come through with that, but we'll get into that later on in the show. But apparently, a tech pause because we're getting auditory cues that there's a tornado warning in Harrisburg.
Whoa, that is very, very bad for Harrisburg. I hope everyone is safe and that it seems to just be a false alarm and the game can continue, but
what would happen if we'd have to delay it?
If we'd have we would have to leave the game. Everyone leaves. We restart the game back at 7-6 and just save it for a later date. Which
unfortunately that would most likely end stream.
Yeah.
Probably, because there's no way we'd be able to wait. Obviously, the players would have to go to their own setups and whatnot. It would have to get sorted out, but more info on this soon. But for now, we'll have a few replays of the last round. If this isn't the end of it for now, Harrisburg, obviously, they put up a strong fight, but it seems like we're going to be going back into game. I think everything is all sorted out and all good, so barring, hopefully, no more tornado warnings, we'll be able to get it smooth and going. So, hey, you know what? Thank God, everyone in Harrisburg, stay safe. Make sure you get into cover. Because right now, St. Clair, they're looking to go through immediately in A. Tornado warning or not, Harrisburg, they completely they are causing a storm through A. They are going absolutely mental. And St. Clair, they have no idea how to stop their aggression.
Oh, IN is picking up that kill onto JP in heaven, and this retake is so impossible. With the Omen paranoia, man, there's not too much you can do. Seth is going to be able to get that kill on Huso, but with Shadow's pick on towards Instinct, this 2v4 is impossible. They elect to save the Spectre and the Bulldog alike. Just take as many guns as possible into the next round.
Seth and Woody, I mean, they are in such a weird spot. And
Woody is in a spot.
I was going to say, you're looking at these exit picks and what they could mean for St. Clair. At least it'd be nice to have a few more on the way home. Is Woody going to be able to claim one? But man, I mean, look, I was kind of caught off guard right there. I mean, we have a pause. We're hearing that this game may not go on any longer. It goes back in, and then we have the fastest round, the fastest blitz that we've actually probably had all series long.
Yeah, it seems like HU...
They threw us for a whirl.
HU Storm brought the storm to St. Clair, and it worked, man. That fast A is so oppressive with the Neon, the Breach, and the Sova. There's so little places that St. Clair can play, and Huso, he's gonna elect to get the Bucky again. He could have bought a rifle, man. He could have bought a rifle, but no. He's very effective with this Bucky, as we've seen, and it seems they're just waiting for that trigger just to start this A take once again.
This time, albeit with a lot more of a slower, controlled, likable pace for us casters, as we get to actually see what happens. And now, hey, I will say, what I'm seeing is Tillo taking the head off of Ianson, and Huso getting in close and personal with that Bucky. If he can get over to that CT side, it's going to be really damning to see how St. Clair are going to be able to walk back in. He's actually going to tuck more to the hell side of things, but yeah, St. Clair, this is going to be a tough one to retake. Near impossible. The Sova drone at least finds one, but unless you're hitting shots through this smoke, there's not a whole lot you can do. You just got to flood and hope numbers can take advantage of the situation. But every time St. Clair have a question, Harrisburg, they have an answer for it.
It seems Tillo and JP kind of want to have an answer for themselves, but Taunt with the 3K cleans up that St. Clair retake. And man, that's the thing about Haven A. If the team is able to safely get onto it without expending too much util, the retake is just dead and gone. Unless someone either goes huge or you have a flank, the retake is just over. There's not too much you can do. The Omen gets set up hell. They blind out right off of the St. Clair trigger, and everyone is blind. You can't see, you can't shoot. It's just cooked for you.
Yeah, I don't think Woody got out of that one.
No. St. Clair onto the save now, as Harrisburg are looking to try and at least take their 10th round. As the A aggression from St. Clair is very, very fast. Instinct and Tillo pushing up towards A lobby, but here's IAN like a turret himself, watching that angle, picks up those 2 kills, and now Harrisburg, once again, they're going A.
Yeah, and, you know, they could potentially, based off of St. Clair's movement, they have so much flexibility on what they could do, but you clear the Heaven player, you smoke it out, you can just completely explode onto the site. Nice little bit of a one-tap there, and unfortunately had the opportunity to down Ianson, but the shots could not be landed. Now St. Clair falling at the seams. JP goes down from Huso, and I'm not necessarily calling panic stations just yet, but St. Clair, they're having Harrisburg really build up the rounds on them.
Yeah, once again, it seems Harrisburg is taking this half into their own hands. We saw it on Corrode. We saw them claw back one by one, and it seems they brought it now into their attack of Haven. With 3 ultimates on the board, the Neural Theft, Hunter's Fury, and the Omen, 1 away from the overdrive for Huso. The stars are just shining for Harrisburg as they conversely now go towards that C site. Taunt is going to TP towards the back site, and now that is everything. That is absolutely everything instantly for Harrisburg.
Yeah, it's just so tough because you also have control of that plat as well, positioning. So JP, man, it just seems so dire. The aftershock through garage, and they obviously know where one of them are as the shots ring through. The double up going to happen from St. Clair's side of things, and remarkably no one who's really giving them anything. Seth, he's going to have to find it himself. The Hunter's Fury, though, is going to be able to claim 1 and tag a whole bunch more. Huso! That's very damning. Woody with a 2-piece. Time becoming a factor. The Owl Drone, I believe it actually missed its start. You can at least have this. He's just going to look to stick. The shock's not going to get him off. The shots aren't being landed! Woody! They say pros don't fake. And I'll tell you right now, he is exactly just that. The cojones to stick that, but St. Clair, they get around on the board because of it.
Nerves of steel from Woody, and he ran out of bullets in his Phantom, man. He had to reload right at the end of his spray, Shadow. No bullets to his name as he's not able to find that kill onto Woody. Thankfully, that stick, yeah, that was bold. That was bold from Woody, but we need plays like that to bring us back into this map. And plays like this might be starting us off as the Hunter's Fury is instantly going to be popped as Instinct pops the overdrive. Shadow is going to find his kill as JP gets the instant trade straight through the smoke. Woody nearly had a timing on Taunt, but the spray with the Phantom is too good as Tillo now has to recuperate and go right back towards that A site.
And it's just not been a good game from Instinct thus far. I mean, pops the overdrive again and immediately gets shut down. Unfortunately,
Tillo.
Have not seen him unlock the way we thought he was going to, as Tillo going to claim the first. Lots of game time still, but for Instinct, he needs to start having his way, and we know exactly what he can do when his aim is on point and his feelings are as well. But for Taunt and company, they're going to take as much advantage as possible, shocking Instinct and the crew. But look at the rotation right now from Harrisburg. They're trying to get their way through the lobby side of things, but unfortunately, Tillo is somehow not going to pick up on a beautiful timing that would 9 times out of 10 give him at minimum 1.
Yeah, that 140 dink on Taunt is so tough. Seth, thankfully, is in here early. No tags ringing through, but IAN, utility out. He is going to be able to find that kill. Now, Shadow, he's so low and vulnerable from that swarm grenade. JP Crosshair just barely not trained. Tap coming through. He knows Shadow is there. He knows what is there. The 360 nearly going his way. Both players so low. Unfortunately, St. Clair not able to find their way back into that round, but with ultimates on their side, at least they have the lockdown to try and make something before Harrisburg gets to 12.
And the slight bit of time that Shadow took not to swing onto Seth there, I mean, that could have been very dangerous, seeing as how low health he is. Seth, unfortunately, not going to be able to find the shots, but if he did, I'm telling you, both of us probably would have been out of our seats.
Oh, yeah, we would.
Right now, Harrisburg, though, you got to take the facts as they come. 11-7, looking real dominant on Haven. And if it keeps on going this fashion, we're going to be seeing a split very soon. But look at the Viper's pit that's being down here. We've seen JP pop this pit the exact same way. And it does such a good job of extending all the way to the entrance of Garage as well. And this is huge. It's going to force Harrisburg's hand very, very wisely.
Taunt has no bullets to reload within his Phantom already. With a minute left in the round, that could be a factor in if and how St. Clair were to win. With this 3-stack towards A, Instinct alone in short with the Sheriff. See if the read is correct. Tillo is going to come back in here towards the site. Might try and take at least a jump peek of some sort, but he's down to 7 HP. Can't do too much by himself. Seth, ooh, sorry, Woody isn't going to get cleared as a TP is good. Finds one, but one by one, the Saints fall as Seth trying to take that timing for yourself, just going to get run and gunned by Taunt as he gets 3 for himself. Now 1 away, Harrisburg. They're looking to close out this map in a very, very dominant fashion.
Man, and it seems like taking a team that has 75% win rate on this map just simply was not the play. And don't get me wrong, I would assume actually probably have more. But that being said, on Haven, Harrisburg, they were a strong roster. There was no denying that. The only team that took the map off of them was Rutgers. But now, St. Clair, they've shown that they're 1 round away from not being able to echo that glory. And if we do go down to split, it's going to be very interesting to see how Harrisburg play that one out. That being said, they got to get there first. Instinct with a crucial first blood.
Yeah, that fast push up towards A lobby. He's able to catch IAN with his util out, his pants down, and now with a lot of space and time, it seems St. Clair and Instinct in particular want to make something of this half. The reswing is not good, but a little bit of damage onto Ianson might be all St. Clair need. Tillo tucked in towards short here as Woody just tries to get in here so early. The backstab is good, but left in a 2v2 now. Seems Rutgers have the advantage even with Ianson has the ult. Yeah, just ulting in now towards CT, just trying to push in as soon as possible. Seems Taunt is going to get spotted out, but this KJ lockdown is going to do its job and then some, pushing all of them off the site. 1 long, 1 short. It seems they want to reconvene now towards Longbow. They're going to get hit by the paranoia as Taunt with the wall bang finds Seth. Now it's JP left alone in the 1v2. Might note that they're both long, but with Ianson so close to the wall, nobody expects it. 13-7. HU take map 2.
Wow, what a closeout right there from Harrisburg, and it really goes to show you that in this 3-map series, it's going to be a long one to go. We're going to be here for quite a while, but at the end of the day, to me, I don't know about you, this has been such an entertaining one that it's gone by to me in a breeze. It feels like we just got out of map 1 somehow, and now 2 maps down, 1 to go. We're going to see what Harrisburg can do on split, a map that, like we've said in the past, they have no experience on record of this semester. That being said, could be one that they were holding in the pocket just in case it gets brought out. We're going to have to see what they have for us today on it.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Split is one of, I think, the major maps, especially in this map pool. And if a team has no play time on it, in officials at least, but you're scrimming it, you're practicing, doing your comps, everything you need to, that's perfect. That is so, so perfect, and that's what you need to do. Let's see if they're able to bring something out for split, but if they're not, and they truly have little to no playtime, I see St. Clair taking this easily.
Man, 2 maps, tornado warnings, everything's being then so crazy today. We're going to get back to a little more of that craziness, but we got to take a short break.
down A.
When you see the lights faded in the night, know that I'm fine alone. I'll be running for the skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing. I'll be running, I'll be running,
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running for the skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing.
Player standing. One enemy remaining.
I can see the end, almost in my mind. No more waiting for a
One
sign.
enemy remaining.
It's time for me.
One enemy remaining.
As the world closes on the door of what it keeps being, I'll be going right. I can set my mind free. I know it.
One enemy remaining.
I'm up on the roof and yeah.
I know exactly.
Learned all that I know, and we put on quite a show.
One enemy remaining.
I'm lying if I say I'm coming back.
Spike down A.
So I wanna walk away. Never wanted to love you anyway. Guess I should've known. Won't pick up the phone.
Spike
Won't
planted.
watch me fade. When you see the lights fading in the night, know that I'm fine alone. I'll be running for the skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing. I'll be running, I'll be running,
One enemy remaining.
I'll be running down. I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running for the skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have map number 3 waiting in the wings. It's going to be split for the CVAL playoffs round 2 champs. East St. Clair going up against Harrisburg. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Lelo Yuji Masilala. And today we have more unknowns through everything that's been thrown at us. Overtimes on map 1, tornado warnings in map 2, and now a map that Harrisburg have no record of playing.
Yeah, so many question marks in the air for Harrisburg and St. Clair. If we're going to change something, if Harrisburg has a split, we really have to see, because we don't know. We have no idea.
No clue at all. I can say that St. Clair definitely do. They've played this one quite frequently throughout CVAL. So, again, they're going to be able to have the advantage in my eyes in this one, as you know, maybe the one thing going up against them would be the momentum.
Yeah.
Took them to Haven on your map. It seems like both teams have done their homework on each other quite well, because we got a little bit of a 3-mapper on our hands.
Hey, you called it. You called it going 3. I called the
But
St.
see,
Clair
I'm
2.
scared.
I'm scared too.
But I said if St. Clair were going to take this, I said it was going to be in 3, and here we are.
Yeah? No, you said if HU were going to take it, it would have to be in 3.
No, I said in 2 because they don't.
Oh,
they don't
yes.
play split.
Sorry.
At least on paper. But
A
hey,
little bit of a brain fart.
that being said, it still goes without saying that they could definitely do it. You talked about it before. Teams don't have to play maps in a league. Just, you know.
Yeah, they could keep it in
know
their back
like,
pocket, bro.
They could absolutely keep it in their back pocket. I remember a long time ago, this Saints team, I want to say there were times where they were thinking about keeping Abyss in their back pocket, but this was like 2 years ago, and it's really hard to recollect. Actually, would have been when my broadcast manager, Owen, would have been the coach of the team. I can't remember. Owen, can you confirm to me 2 years back if there was the map of Abyss used to kind of keep in the back pocket and strat in the background, or was that just not a thing? Yes, like 2 years ago plus. No, absolutely not. Okay,
Definitely
well then you know
not.
what? Never mind. 2022, 2023, yes. Okay. Oh, not the winning season. Okay. But I did have a little bit of a So back at least when I was in year 1, yes, that was a thing. But at the end of the day, yes, the whole point is teams can keep maps in their back pocket, right? If Split is one that Harrisburg are currently doing that on, and if it's just somehow never come into play for the teams they've faced, then hey, so be it. We're here now. They can prove a little bit of a message, and maybe it's to their benefit. You have no film on Harrisburg on Split from this semester. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you one thing, you got a lot of film on St. Clair on Split. So if they've done their homework, we know one of the teams, barring some change-ups that they've made today, are going to be looking pretty predictable.
Speaking of film, that man Huso, he made a highlight reel that game, man.
Oh, yeah.
He was going crazy. I mentioned it, and I said Huso is kind of like the Danby of Collegiate, where he could play the solo duelist, especially the Neon, and still tear through people, still get kills, and get as so many first bloods as we saw earlier. Dropped 20. Just one kill behind top frag. He nearly top fragged on the entry of Neon, which it's not uncommon for a duelist to top frag, but especially when you're solo duelist Neon and you kind of have to send it and your team kind of goes in behind you and either trades you instantly or gets the picks off their own util, it's a good feat if you are Neon getting as many kills as Huso did.
I think the biggest question to me is going to be, with the fact that you play Neon on Haven, my question is for Huso, is he going to pick into the Waylay that he really trusts a lot? Or, we know he has dive experience in the Waylay, do you see the Raze potentially being picked out? We know that other duelists like Instinct really like to use the Raze on Split, and a lot of people genuinely do.
Yeah.
Raze is just usually kind of, not necessity, but a really good pick on Split for your dive players. So, again, Huso, we're gonna let that question linger, but it would not surprise me if, given the current form, if maybe you just stick with the Waylay because it's been working for you.
I would not be upset if we saw maybe a Waylay breach coming in for HU, maybe a Waylay Fade Deadlock even. But for the side of St. Clair, it should be business as usual. Maybe. I'm getting word that my broadcast director is saying,
what's the
nope.
switch up?
Seth is playing Raze?
Seth is playing dive.
What?
Hey, and you know what? Look at my notes. I had it down that the change was going to be from Flex and Dive, and they're going to influence it. Man.
It's 6 on Yoru as well.
This just got interesting.
Okay.
This just got super interesting. The Waylay being brought up by Huso as well. Chamber by IN. We talked about it before that we have seen some Chamber play, and now it's going to show up again. Shadow on the Sky as well as, notably, not a Sky being brought out from St. Clair. They're going to keep things going with the Tillo and Fade. Omen still being selected out from Woody. And the Viper to give him some more secondary smoke support from JP, as Taunt going to be picking up that exact same role for Ianson. But, man.
We're running double duelist. I used to pray for times like this, man. I have said...
You used to pray for times
yes!
when Seth was playing dive?
Okay, I didn't say Seth. Okay, I didn't say Seth. But, even in first semester, I was like, St. Clair would do so good with double duelists. And I'm getting word Seth used to run the dive duelist back in 2023, specifically Raze, and on the map of Abyss. So he's going back to his roots. And I know he might feel a little bit nostalgic, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy we're finally running double duelist.
You know what? If Seth has to turn back the clock to get this one out, that just tells me that it's been one hell of a series. And hey,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. This duo right here, they are going to have to be the bread and butter for St. Clair. Instinct, he has had, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, he's had an abysmal series so far. It's just true. You know, when the guy pops off, he's absolutely insane. But right now, he's just been a non-factor. You throw Seth on the dive, on Yoru, can Instinct find his footing? We've seen Instinct play Yoru before on maps like Bind. But now, on the split, I have never seen him on the Yoru. So this is going to be interesting. Man, Seth, he's proven so far throughout the semester, he's looked pretty damn good on playing the Omen as well. There have been some times where I've been like, man, Unk still got it.
Unk still got it.
And got it more than some of the other players on the team right now.
Yeah.
He's going to have to replicate performances like that if he wants St. Clair to be in the winning side. But man, this just got my energy flowing. Seeing Seth on a dive character
We're so back.
in 2026.
In the big 2-6.
We are so back. But right now, 6 seconds left to go. It's CVAL playoffs round 2. Map number 3. Move and win on, lose, and get sent down to lowers.
Yeah, St. Clair starting off this attack is Instinct. He's going to slow walk towards that ramp angle right behind that Fade Haunt. Let's see if he's able to get at least some space. TP nearly expiring as Ianson is right here ready for the Paranoia towards ramp. But look at the brunt of the St. Clair attack. We're on B. We are 4-man on B as with the jump peek. Instinct is able to find one. IEN on the opposite side finds JP, but Tillo answers right back. And that is the B site open for St. Clair. Instinct, yes, he is going to get collapsed on. But does he find his timing? No, the shields. Shadow's shields just barely save his life. But this 3v3 is looking good for St. Clair as Seth is wise to the flank. Taunt now left down to 10 HP. Huso coming in through spawn is right there, ready to save his life as Woody, with the assisted swing, finds Taunt. Do they know about Huso?
I don't think so. Judging at how quickly they are both moving away from that position and the fact that they're not even really tailoring any sort of awareness whatsoever to it. Woody turns around at the right time, and at least the position is known now. The slowing nade, but Seth, he's going to be able to hit the headshot, give him 2 dinks, and all of a sudden, the man starts firing in all cylinders. Maybe it wasn't a bad move. Zhao was talking to me about it earlier, and I was kind of sitting there and I was like, man, I really wonder if they'll do it. I wonder if they'll do it. They've gone on and done it. And I'll tell you right now, St. Clair done did it to you. They got round 1 on the board.
First round, very, very nice round, especially from Instinct. I loved that lurk. He completely ignored that Sky Flash through the Viper wall, lurked up towards ramp, and got his and a lot of damage onto Shadow. Now it seems St. Clair wants a 5-man A, but the entire stack from HU is right here as Taunt with the shorty down towards
cheeky.
ramp. Oh no, Seth, he pulled it out! He pulled out his knife! Taunt pulled out his knife as Seth takes that timing, and with the Fade Prowler, Shadow has no chance in the world as Instinct does find that kill. The Paranoia is able to pick up 2, but Seth is just satcheling on towards site, picks up Huso as Ianson finds the trade, but Woody is right there, answers in kind. JP with the wallbang headshot. That's a 4-man alive take for St. Clair.
If there was going to be any sort of counter response from Harrisburg in that round, it had to be on the Viper playing on ramps. And that was, you just had the cheeky angle, but the timing, so not forgiving as Seth really just been playing pretty decent so far. Obviously, you have the gun advantage. You might as well get in close and personal, use it to your advantage, the SMG, as now St. Clair, they're going to be able to save minimum 4 out of the 5 weaponries here. Seth obviously just buy the pistol shields and keep this one close. As now, this is going to be the first time where Harrisburg, they're going to be able to buy for themselves, and unfortunately, they conceded another Vandal over to St. Clair. JP going to be the one to now be able to hopefully keep things going for them, but a retake from Ianson. Guns a-plentiful in Garage, however. St. Clair looking for some weapon upgrades. They'll be able to get a few.
3v3 now for St. Clair. Very good in terms of damage to the HU economy, but they still have a very, very real chance to come back and win this round. Taunt He's up here towards Raptors very, very early, but goes off at the worst timing possible. The clone is going to be sent in with the flash as Instinct. Flash TP's on now towards site. Tillo nearly gets the backstab, but Taunt is able to find that kill. Now JP, 36 HP, he has to go huge, at least find one pick, but the wide swing from Taunt is too good. And now with the Waylay dash and saturate, there's not too much Instinct can do. Killing 2, you make it at least a little bit worth it. But, of course, you would love more or at least to win the round.
Well, everybody from Harrisburg there with rifles, and you're just trying to win that round. Or, sorry, for St. Clair, you're just trying to make that round as scrappy as possible.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure that, obviously, it's less players that are going to be able to afford the full buy in round number 4. So, now, you have the ability to kit yourselves out completely if you would want to. Whereas on the side of Harrisburg, you can immediately see some light shields going down. You need a player like Ianson to have on a Guardian. So again, this is good from St. Clair. They at least made it scrappy, though they weren't probably supposed to win that one out. It's now 2-1, but on the first buy round, St. Clair, they seem to have slowed things down for a second here, but I'm sure the second this orb goes through and the Boombot clears out vents, you're going to see a man off this flash go straight on through.
Seth decides to single satchel here towards ropes. His Instinct, he's already in mail. One flash in his hand. Might be able to take IN off the line, but it seems St. Clair wants to kind of shift now towards that rope angle. Not too much space made in terms of the mains, but lots in towards heaven as IN tries to drop down for Raptors. Does see Instinct's head. Does get the dink, but that blind from Woody in garage picks up that kill on towards towards Ian Sin as Woody with the wide swing finds his second. Now the site is fully open for St. Clair. Up towards Raptors, 2 players. JP, the last man standing in towards mid. This retake is going to look so hard for HU. Shadow only has 1 flash, man. And Seth, he still has the paint shells. He can stop everything that HU want, and yeah. Instant decision to save is good. St. Clair, they have too much of a setup and a hold on towards the B site. But JP, look at him. He's in ropes. Might be able to find one pick unless they heard him. He does find his one and instantly runs away. Just get out of there as soon as possible.
Man, really annoying there from Harrisburg. But at the end of the, or for Harrisburg, at the end of the day though, St. Clair, they're going to come out on top. They get their round win, and immediately it's going to be very interesting to see from here on out what Harrisburg are going to have in store, because weapon-wise, they're going to need to find themselves in equal footing soon. St. Clair, we know that they have the experience on stream on Split, and they're showing it off with very good style.
Oh, definitely. Seth as well, 2 away from the showstopper. Lots of, not lots, sorry, a good amount of money in the bank for St. Clair. But it seems HU, they're still going to be able to buy into this round. 2 light shields for 2 of them. But I think they should have a pretty safe and decent time into this round. If they do win it, this will be a huge dent into the HU economy, as Huso and Instinct take a little bit of a duel in towards A main, but no kills produced out of it. Now, taking Garage, St. Clair wants to make some sort of presence, some sort of space. Ianson is here with the paranoia, just trying to jump, take his time.
Man, this Garage double up at least is going to be able to claim the ult orb here from Seth. Just 1 away from that showstopper as the TP comes in through the raised nade.
He saw it.
Try to clear out Ianson's position, but I was going to say he's aware of where this true TP is. And man, despite the fact that the smoke is coming down and you would think it would benefit the Omen, the shots end up falling through. Instinct, he finds the player, and now Ian going to have to take up this B backside positioning.
Oh, Taunt, this kill has to come through. This would be absolutely huge if it does, but with the C's from Tillo, it seems they want to try and take that A Heaven space, but Shadow and Taunt are right there, ready and primed. Seth satching on towards the site, does find the trade, but with no spike in hand, seems they want to try and make something happen. IN on the back site finds both Seth and Woody, bringing HU to their second.
Yeah, and that's a huge round there for Harrisburg. They are right back in the runnings now, and this one gonna seem like it's going to be all up to a close decision. Who would have thought? You know, we go OT map 1, map 2, Harrisburg. They get their wits about them. They completely siphon everything from St. Clair on Haven. And, man, you know, it would not be a stretch. I know we're only 5 rounds in. Would not be a stretch at all if this decider goes the distance. I mean, obviously,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Harrisburg, right? They left this map unbanned to get to this point. They had their chances to take it out. They didn't. Clearly, that means that they're not nobodies on this one. So it would lead me to think that there's definitely more than meets the eye to Harrisburg than, oh, they don't play split, therefore they're not good on split. I'm telling you right now, that is not the case.
Back sights. No, Seth pops the showstopper, isn't able to fire it off, but JP is right there, ready and waiting to trade out his teammate. But Ianson, with the Omen ultimate, TP's in towards back map, finds 2 for himself as Taunt in heaven finds another. Now Instinct, the sole player remaining, does have 1 away from the ultimate, but the timing is so bad as Taunt picks up a 3rd as well. Now with the Viper's Pit available for HU, will they elect to send it towards mid with St. Clair being on a save, or do they save it for a future round?
Well, either way, it seems like comms flowing through the team, maybe a little bit of disgruntlement from St. Clair, it looked like on the player cams. And again,
cut their walls down.
This team, they get off to some very hot starts. They can win a map just like that. They get off to a slow one, and all of a sudden, well, that's been a big question for them in a long time, is can they mentally rebound and retake a map that they haven't had the strongest start in? Right now, 3-3, so still not a problem, but I'll tell you what, these walk-ups in mid, they have not been working. You need to clear out this Vents player earlier. Instinct at minimum will be able to do that, but with a gun gap right now, Harrisburg, they just got to play off their numbers and smart as Instinct, the only one who can have a rifle off the pickup from the Viper and Vents.
One flash in hand. They might be able to try and make something work towards the site, but with the paranoia in your face, it seems that there's not a lot you can do. Instinct does decide to pop the Dimensional Drift, clearing all of the site for his teammates behind him. Seth, single satchel from heaven, as the spike should be able to go down, but will they be able to take the space and the timing, find at least 1 pick for themselves? Ianson, sole player in towards CT. With only Sheriffs and Instinct alone with the Phantom St. Clair, they need to find at least 1 through the ult, as Seth does. Ian is going to fall, but now left down about 5 HP. Seth needs to try and make something work. This peak CT from Ianson does not go the way of St. Clair. Dodging the flash, JP is going to be able to find 1, not 2, as Shadow and Huso with the double swing fell JP and defuse the spike.
And it's unfortunate. Maybe if you play a little more away from that angle, you're able to let those players that walk into the Viper pit decay a little bit more before you're taking that gunfight.
Yeah.
And at the same time, then you're also playing a little more for your time. But at the end of the day, look, I trust JP's judgment 99 times out of 100. Unfortunately, the shots just don't land on the first player. He didn't really have much more time to back out without giving his position away. So, St. Clair, they go down in round count now, 4-3. Harrisburg, they rebound, winning 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, with 3 ultimates in their hands as well, the Tour de Force Seekers and Viper's Pit. It seems Harrisburg is in such an opportune position as a single flash comes through. Taunt is once again spamming through mid, finds a pick for himself. No pick for IAN with the Tour de Force, but TP's away to relative safety as now St. Clair, it seems they want to start a little bit of an A split. Taunt now towards ropes, does not find his target as Tillo is looking very, very snappy. As the A main push is good from Shadow and Huso with the refract and the saturate. Now down towards site, it seems St. Clair, they have no space, man. They have nowhere they can really play. Mid is covered, spawn is covered, A is all but safe for HU in this 2v4.
Yeah, and this is so tough. The closer you get to this player with a shorty, the more damage they can apply, but unfortunately, one of the more consistent guns in the game at close range have not been able to gift Harrisburg a pick, and all of a sudden, Seth and Woody, they're taking a round
Spike
back
planted.
in this
One
2v4
enemy
that just
remaining.
became very winnable. IN with the headhunter going to be able to find one on the Seth, but Woody, full health and health bars on at least one of these players from Harrisburg low. This one all but over. Got to make sure you plan these swings accordingly. You take down one, you get the second as well. Clean, calm, composed. Woody takes down 3 and keeps St. Clair alive.
Ice in his veins. Man sees the shoulder of the chamber after the initial peak, killing the Omen, and is able to pick up that round and those 2 kills for St. Clair. We definitely needed that. 100% St. Clair needed that round, at least get 1 ultimate off the board for HU. Now 4-4. This game, it's so close. This is so close, and the economy from both sides is looking very dire. It's a must-win round, but IN picks up the kill on Seth through the single satchel and wallbangs Instinct, fully stopping the entire take from St. Clair. Matilda takes the timing to find the shoulder of Ian Sin. Now IN on for the 4K. Let's find another one, but is going to be moved down to 30 HP. JP with the wallbang tries to bring St. Clair back.
Charges left.
As Huso refracts back into vents. Now St. Clair, they have to recuperate, try and pick the correct angle to bring them back into this round.
It seems like they want to go through mid, obviously. They saw the player in vents now, dipping through the Zips positioning, and they're going to elect to try to paranoia through vents and take that space. Look at the rotation right now as well that the Waylay has taken. It's going to be a little bit later, and it seems like they don't really know. They're kind of indecisive, and they're picking and choosing. 45 seconds left to go. The Waylay's pulled back, so for the time being, you'll at minimum be having a 2v2, but I'm surprised based off maybe the sounds of the shots through mail that this Waylay isn't coming back over any sooner.
30 seconds left.
Seems like Woody and JP, they've still gone undetected. They're going to make their way all the way down through stairs. 20 seconds left to go, and they have a potential flank here, a lurk through the CT side. Shadow and company, they still believe they're in mail. This TP goes down, and all of a sudden it gets canceled out immediately. JP, the timing, they've walked on, but 7 seconds left to go. Woody's got to start planting, and especially with that kill going through, there's not enough time. It does not matter. Harrisburg, off of composure and keeping to their guts, their intuition, they're going to be able to take another round.
So that was honestly nearly so smartly played from JP and Woody. The time was not on their side. If they had at least 10 more seconds, there was a vision, there was a way to bring them back into this round. But if a player like IAN is going to go on a tear and get two off of the barrier drop, there's not too much you can do in terms of winning that round and bringing this back. Now St. Clair put on the back foot, put on a save. Seth, he is 1 away from the showstopper, elects to get a Bucky. Might try and go somewhere fast just to get a pick at least, but it's Taunt, man. Taunt in vents, looking immovable.
How many times is Taunt going to sit vents and just get a first blood?
It's happened so often in this half, and it seems St. Clair don't really have an answer for it. As Seth is going to fall instantly once again. Instinct off the wide swing timing, gets a nice shot onto IAN. That is a gun dropped for the side of St. Clair. Let's see if they're able to pick it up. Speed split, looking at least standard. Let's see if it's good. Everyone taking their time. No footsteps being made as Tillo decides to send the Prowler down towards goal. That time was so bad nearly with just a classic, man. You just gotta get as much damage. Ison and Huso find picks for themselves. Now left alone, the 1v1 Instinct with the Phantom has to try and fell Huso 20 HP to his name. There's not too much you can do against a full HP Waylay. He has to take his time, has to wait for the plant. Then you can pop the ult, you can pop the refract, you can do anything you really want in this situation. Only 20 seconds. Instinct, you don't have time for this. You need to try and at least get the spike down. Huso, so patient, man. With this 1v1, nerves of steel, he's so patient. Decides to pop the pathways with the crosshair placement. It's not good for Instinct as Huso is able to get that kill and the 3K. 6 on the board for HU.
Well, it was a good bait out from Instinct at least to have the Waylay pop the ult. Unfortunately, the shots combined with the low health going to be too much of a factor for Harrisburg. Lello, no comment. Sorry, those only I will understand. Is now Harrisburg, for the viewer to understand, up 6-4. St. Clair, they have weaponry under their belts, but they need to try to force the issue. Everyone on Harrisburg able to have the luxury of a full buy. But guys, let's just start a counter. How many times, I was going to say, can we get this man out of vents without having to drop a body for it?
I like this fast pressure. I love this fast pressure for St. Clair. The Nightfall and the Showstopper is going to get popped. No value from either. As, oh my goodness, here's Same Man. He can just do no wrong. He can do no wrong. Viper's Pit is going to fall for Harrisburg. Taunt now, as they have so much space in their hands, is Instinct. Sorry, they have no space now. As Instinct gets that instant kill, Shadow is going to get one and instantly traded out. Dimensional Drift for Instinct. Last player now left alone in the 1v2. Spike is getting defused. It is getting stuck. Does he know? He has no chance. He has no chance to know. Now he has to try and at least save this rifle for the next round, the last in the half.
Yeah, and St. Clair, they're looking visually very chalked right now.
Yeah.
Disappointment, long faces across the player cams, and they got to snap out of that. Because at the end of the day, you took map 1 in such a barn burner fashion. You need to make sure that you play up to snuff, because players right now like Taunt, IN, Huso in that last round, it's just little things. They're getting away with too much here on Split.
Yeah, and this from St. Clair, I feel this is a little more obvious than I'd really like it, especially when you've been losing mid and B as often as St. Clair have. Most teams elect to go A, and it seems Harrisburg, they have the read. They have 3 players here with their sole Viper in mid. Seth thankfully finds one, but is instantly traded out. Stillo with the Guardian, spams out the instant, but we see Instincts lurking up now towards this B site. Might be able to hear these rotates, hear these steps away. St. Clair get out in relative safety behind the Viper wall. Now smokes are going to start falling, but IN, he's here. He's still so early, and he heard that smoke fall. Does Woody fall? Does Woody get kills here? They have no idea. He's up towards heaven, but thankfully the spams and the running guns are looking too good. Shadow, lone man in stairs, has to wait for his teammates. Taunt does take the timing and finds one. Instinct with the instant trade is going to hold him. Now GP left in towards Mail as Woody and Instinct now sitting CT. 3v1 should be unlosable for St. Clair.
I was going to say, there's no way you let this guy isolate. There's no way you let Shadow isolate 3 gunfights, especially when you have the double up in garage now. The paranoia goes out. You got to smoke to assist you as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no way.
This coupled by the time and the fact that, well, you've just got quite literally a split of an angle between the two of you. The flash goes through, and yeah, I mean, that's going to be all she wrote. So, hey, you know what? St. Clair, they find a response off of a tragic last round. They get their own back to go, and now you have another real big way for St. Clair to claw themselves back into this one. But now I do believe as the sides are going to swap over, St. Clair on the defensive side of Split now, I believe 7-5 in the first half. Very reminiscent of a game we just got out of on Haven. Hopefully, the defensive side will be a lot more, will treat them better than Haven did, because, yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah. I think it should. St. Clair with the paint shells, with the Yoru flashes, they have a lot of ways that they can make space and stop the space making from HU, as we see already. Instinct is holding out the flash now towards ramp. Tillo is going to fall.
They're just walking.
Yeah, they're just running out. Instinct is going to be able to pick up one onto Instant, but the spike should go down for HU. Oh, Seth, he saw him. He saw a shoulder man. JP with the 1v1 with Taunt in mid is going to fall now. St. Clair left alone in the 3v4. They have so much that they need to make note of. Seth is going to try and open us up. Gets that one kill. IN gets a lot of damage now. Seth is left down to 1 HP with 1 Yoru Flash in hand. Backside is going to be open up now. Oh, that paranoia from Woody was so good. Unfortunately, with such a close angle, there's not too much you can do when they can just barely see you. 8th round on the board for Harrisburg.
Man, and that is so incredibly damning. You're looking at a potential 9-5, and I'm not talking about a work shift. We're not clocking in right now. We could be very close to clocking out, if anything. St. Clair, man, it's gonna take a whole lot. They need, and I know how damning this round looks, but if they ever need one, they need it here. I mean,
right here.
Right here. Quite literally right here. 9-5 is bad. And now Harrisburg, credit to them, they need to keep their wits about them. Instinct, peeking out garage and just solo dying like that, not going to be the method for success, but you can't blame him. He had to try to find something.
Yeah, you can't. It also seems St. Clair had the incorrect read onto the stack. 4-player stacking as Tiller is the first to rotate over. Does spot out all the players of Harrisburg with the eye and the Fade Prowler. But now St. Clair, they have to try and at least off this eco, get something going. Tillo nearly killing Taunt towards mid, left down to 22 HP with the Guardian. He just has to play late, play his time. Now with only 3 classics in hand, seems there's not really anything St. Clair can do to come back in this round.
Yeah, this is a bit of a rough one.
Yeah,
that you put yourself in, and realistically, for Harrisburg, it's gonna be just at what time do you really just pull out and save as many of these guns as possible? Because this one is pretty much all but over. I mean, the Omen smoke up in heaven. Seth, he's just inspecting weapon, getting one more look at his pistol before it all goes
the spike
awry. And yeah, I was gonna say, St. Clair, they're gonna be well, you know, looking for a late little tap on
that money.
The spike, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
You do not have time for all of that. You do not have time for all of that.
No.
3 players will die to the spike, as a little bit of extra money will be in the St. Clair pockets, but now you have to turn up. You have to turn up. You're down 9-5 Harrisburg. They only need 4 more rounds to close this out and move on to the CVAL semifinals for the Eastern Conference. St. Clair, see what they have for us, what they can change in this defensive half.
Yeah, I mean, this literally has to be it right here.
Yeah.
If you don't win this round, you are going to be in an eco situation, and you need to make some huge plays. Instinct, it couldn't happen last round, but it happens here, and it's at a time where you need it. So, for St. Clair, their players, they need to pull up. Tillo, he's not going to be able to do too much against Ian right there, as unfortunately, Shadow going to be able to probably try to heal some of his teammates back up. I was going to say, look at all of them. Look at all those low health bars. Ian going to be able to get a little more health, and he's going to get a kill from Woody off of that. Yes, traded out from Seth. Instinct, they're finding picks. St. Clair in this 2v3, low health, JP with a massive one, and there you go. You clear on out through the B side, or so through the A side of things through tower. St. Clair, they find a crucial round. And I was going to say, Seth, let's just
chill, bro.
Let's stay on this. Yeah, there you go. Look,
yeah.
10 seconds, like it's not like he was going to. Anyway. St. Clair, they get one back when they needed to. Hopefully, they can start cruising their way through a little bit of momentum, slowly but surely chopping this lead down bit by bit.
Bit by bit, indeed. Thankfully, Seth is going to be 2 away now from the showstopper, which we all know and love to be a massive, massive ultimate. And you were talking about it. You're talking about Instinct. You need to wake up this map, and that he has. That first pick.
Absolutely.
That first pick, integral in St. Clair winning that previous round. But now, HU, they're on a bye. Let's see what they can do with these rifles with all this full shield in their back pocket.
Yeah,
so
for both teams
spam.
were on equal footing, but now it's JP's turn. Taunt, you got away with this a whole lot in the first half.
He's up!
But hey, sometimes when Isaac unlocks, he can just do beautiful things. He's going to be able to claim one, gets away with his life. These dashes and positions in vents, it doesn't seem like it's going to give Harrisburg a whole lot. Woody going to be able to find IN elsewhere. And now, Harrisburg Storm, they've been chucked into one right now as St. Clair 5v2 going in their favor. And they just got to sit back and let these Harrisburg players come to them.
One by one, the Harrisburg players just falling to St. Clair. Woody might be able to find this timing. He's going to be able to spot him out. Instinct is there, but on such low HP, not able to find the trade. Now we're looking at a 2v3. Seth, no gun out.
No, this timing is
this
horrible.
timing is so bad for St. Clair. He gets 4 in the round. Now Tillo left alone in the 1v2. Spike is down. Has to try and do something now. Taunt is going to fall Hugh, so you have to ace to win this round. Look at this rewrap through Garage. He has so much time.
I don't
Tillo
think Tillo has
is
a
none
clue in
the
world.
wiser. Does he find it? The shots ring out.
The recall.
Wait, he has to refract. The recall, Tillo. He now knows as he gets it. 1 HP. Oh my goodness. The spam was nearly so bad for Tillo, but he's able to find that kill. Now that's a breath of fresh air. You gotta breathe after a round like that.
I gotta breathe after a round like that. It is a 4v2 scenario.
Oh my goodness.
Like, how?
Look at this, man.
Huso not only has this, but then the timing.
Look at
this is insane right now. Oh man.
Oh man.
That was disastrous for St. Clair. Tillo with clean shots. And off the recall that had to happen, a bad timing. Look, you get too many timings, unfortunately. Karma's got to come back to bite you at some point. Huso gets away with murder. He could not clutch it out. Unfortunately, man, how many times have we seen? Like, Instinct, he's done great work so far through this matchup, but First Bloods have not been treating him very well, as unfortunately the saturation just misses through mid. And now these player positions gone unknown. Seth, he just claims the ult orb and just backs up.
Bold.
And he has a showstopper now. So St. Clair, they do have that in their back pocket should they ever need it. But this rewrap through sewers now, it's going to be Harrisburg. Up 9-7, looking to claim their 10th through a take on A.
This conversion pass from Huso could be used. And with a judge from long range, it seems Seth
he's going to get
2, 3! 3K from Seth brings St. Clair right back into this round. 2v2 now. But Huso, you just have to sit late in main, play off your ultimate, play off this conversion path. Shadow as well, after he plants, it'll be 1 off the Seekers. Let's see if Tillo's able to at least find a timing in towards elbow. Just hear the reload and the jump beats. Prowler comes through. It only sees 1. They don't know about Tillo. Oh, now the collapse from St. Clair on towards the site is started. No, the blind. Oh, I thought it missed. How does that hit? I thought that missed for a second. Oh, as Woody picks up the final kill, revealing the 8th round, and finally, light in the tunnel is shining for St. Clair. As round by round, they're bringing it right back, 1 round away from an even score of 9-9.
Yeah, and they have the Fade ult in their back pocket as well, so good things happening for St. Clair. Big-time plays being made. That 2v2 could have swung any which way, but shout out Seth. Finding the first pick, gets the showstopper, gets another off of that, or another 2. I remember I was just calling it out midway through his flying there. I was like, they're so tucked up close, he's going to get 2 off of it.
Yeah.
And man, did it ever work out so well. 9-8, 1 round away from getting through here, and you have Harrisburg in a really big eco situation. St. Clair, they got to see how they can respond. The instant phantom pressure to recall back, but eventually it will flood through this chamber, though. The tour de force and the slowing for St. Clair. They clear out the ninja player in Seth. The position not being held too well as St. Clair. Now they got to play for a little more of a retake, but the first pick that Tillo finds, it's going to be the spike. Unfortunately, Ianson going to be able to find the pickup on him, but 18 health now. This is very well doable for St. Clair, but they have to act now.
Well, the pre-fire from Instinct is very good, and notably, he did pop the Dimensional Drift just earlier.
Oh, that's such a huge pick.
That wide swing from Taunt is so huge, leaving Instinct alone in the 1v2. Viper's Pit in his face. They do have their backs turned. Finds 1-2! Oh my goodness, the spam from Instinct is so perfect as the 2 players line up, winning a hero round. Tillo, you gotta hype him up after that one. Big round for St. Clair. And that's 9-9, even scoring on the board.
Man.
Wow. Dude.
Spike down A.
They need to just refocus. Tillo had a huge 2, but Instinct with a hero play finds 1, and I want to see here.
Yeah, they lined
He
up.
just,
They lined up.
I was going to say, he gets the kill on the Viper. Didn't even see her. May have maybe seen her leg, like the lower half of her right leg, but at the same time, the chamber swings out. You're worried about the chamber, and one of your bullets from a stray spray happened to just hit her in the head.
Yeah, very, very good round and well played from St. Clair. Nice little hero play from Instinct. But JP and Woody left alone on towards the B site are going to clear 1 as the Waylay recall and the saturation is popped. But Woody on towards these boxes finds 2. Doesn't find the 3rd, but Shadow gets that trade. Now St. Clair, play your numbers and just chill. Instinct going to early rotate. Might have the read, those duelist senses tingling just a little bit as the Prowler is able to spot out 1 still tucked in garage.
Well, St. Clair seems to have been hashing out issues that they saw from last round, and it's been working so far. You got the 4v3, but right now, look at the Vents players. They're trying to get in through to this tower side uncontested, and they have. Taunt has completely snuck through here, and as soon as he clears this position, I would assume that the Sky would be the one to follow. No, he's actually taking CT side. They want to push this through Mail potentially, and if this pick gives, then all of a sudden you have a 2v1 uncontested. He's going to take the zips. Instinct with 1 though, and this is huge, massive. It stops Shadow in his path, but Huso, they're just getting huge pick after huge pick. Both sides, 14 seconds left to go. Instinct, are you aware of the drop? You've heard it. He hasn't seen you. It's gone down uncontested. Spike is yours. Celebrate all you want because no players around Harrisburg are aware of the positioning. St. Clair with a massive round. They take the lead. And man, that has to be a huge chalker from Harrisburg.
After what has been such a slow start for Instinct, it's good to see him turn up in these rounds, and you deserve to celebrate. After a series of rounds like that, Instinct, you know what? Have your fun, man. Have your fun, shoot his body. We don't care. We love to see it. And this Harrisburg, they nearly had the correct read, but as I was saying, man, he just knew. He got here towards A so he got here towards A so early and just went unchecked and unnoticed. Now St. Clair finally up on rounds in this game. Harrisburg, if they don't win this round, they'll be put on an eco. Same is true for St. Clair. So this is very, very important. 2 away from the dimensional drift for JP. For Instinct, and same for JP. IN might have seen a shoulder or something from Woody. Some random spam nearly hitting Woody, but doesn't now. So it's already in through Mail, a little ahead of the smoke already. As JP tries to get some pre-fires.
Man, sitting in this Raptors position, I was to say you got to hear the Waylay dashes, but it's gone through. This Mail presence. It's got to be insane, but Instinct just TPs right into the sight line. JP and Woody, luckily, have his back. JP with 2. Give him and Woody both a double. The Brazilian duo showing out right now. This raise nade from Seth going to be driving out Taunt into the sight line. And St. Clair, they have control of split.
Yeah, JP and Woody absolutely locking down that B site, an impregnable fortress, as Harrisburg tried to get the split through garage and mid, but it doesn't work. If JP's sitting on rafters just waiting, playing his timing correctly, and Woody's right there to back him up, you cannot get in. Harrisburg now put on such a weird buy. Only 1 rifle, a Bucky, a Stinger, and 2 pistols in their hands. St. Clair, they're looking primed and ready to bring us to 12.
Yeah, they are. But if it's anything that I know about Harrisburg, they have the grit to get us to overtime. This one, all but over just yet, and Huso shows exactly why. What value from Huso. And now the plant can go down. That's even more credits in Harrisburg's locker, plus the fact that they definitely have more than a puncher's chance now of winning this one out.
That Omen blind and the saturate. Woody really had no chance to play the game as JP is going to get blinded towards back pillar. Look at Taunt. Taunt lurked all the way through A. Is here on B. Does get that backstab on instinct, and that's a flawless for Harrisburg.
Man, had absolutely no right to have it go that way either. But I told you, Harrisburg, man, they know how to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Damn well.
Yeah.
You give them a sucker punch, and they'll hit you right back with a flying knee. And I mean, look at that. Huso getting a huge two-piece there, clearing out B instantly. And Harrisburg, I mean, man, they seem to be on the right path right now. They've reestablished themselves into this game. And St. Clair, this has got to be the round for them to get on match point. If not, you're going to be looking at potentially having to be on an eco round because Harrisburg are just grooving.
Instinct instantly going to fall as the first pick, but Tillo finds a nice spam on towards Taunt. Now, no Viper Wall in your back pocket. The Convergent Pathways are going to get popped towards that A site. Tillo is still sitting here towards CT. Might see some spam with the Phantom. Yeah, but they have this site. They will be able to get the spike down. Tillo, notably one away from the ultimate. Woody is going to fall to IEN as JP with the judge.
I love it.
Oh, it seems like IEN's headphones weren't connected for a moment because he didn't hear all that stomping around. But 3v3. Oh, wait. The vulnerable from the Molly right into the Raise nade is so perfect to Seth and JP. Or sorry, Tillo and JP now left alone in the 2v1. Find their pick, and they bring us to 12.
Man, and that was so huge because you lose instinct right off the bat. The convergence of paths gets popped through, and Ian has a huge pick on a cross that's being held from St. Clair. You're seeing all this, and you're like, there's no way St. Clair get away with this, getting a retake, but you do. And now all of a sudden, I get there was more that went into it than just simply you do, Patrick. But hey, listen, you know what? I got to say, St. Clair, they have grit just like Harrisburg do. They've gotten us to 12. Can they take us to the distance? You needed this round to even just contest in terms of economy with the Harrisburg right now that can totally afford to full buy on all fronts.
Yeah.
So right now, you send Harrisburg home potentially, or do the Storm keep on fighting?
What a night, a well-timed early ultimate coming in from Tillo is going to be able to spot at least 3 players, but Harrisburg pay it no mind as the Seekers and Huso are instantly on towards the A-side. Spike is already down, but this retake through ramp seems to be going St. Clair's way as trades after trades are flying. IEN now left 1 HP. Seth, do you lurk down towards this ramp? Tillo finds 2. They note out IEN's positioning, and now down to 13. St. Clair, they will win this quarterfinal match, and they'll be moving on to the semifinals of CVAL.
Man, and in crazy fashion, JP, you let out a yawn. To me, that seems more like it should have been a sigh of relief.
He's chilling.
Listen, he's chilling, for sure. But St. Clair is a team, anything but that. They take split in 13-10 fashion. However, when you look at the series in general, Corrode, a 15-13, a stomping of St. Clair in Haven in their stomping grounds. And now we get split, and it goes quite literally as far as it possibly almost could have.
Yeah, that was such a close, entertaining game, honestly. It seemed like Harrisburg had the edge for a vast majority of that game, but St. Clair, with their grit, determination, and skill individually and as a team, bring it back and win it out 13-10. Very well played from both teams. But man, that you got me nervous, man. My blood pressure. My poor blood pressure, man. It's okay. Thankfully, St. Clair able to get that win. As we were talking about, semifinals looking right in their corner. 1 week off for a break, for practice. You have a lot of time to recuperate, take your time, rest, and then it's right back to the game.
Yeah, they do. They get a weekend off, and that's absolutely huge in terms of prepping, but also just to chill out a little bit. And hey, you know what? We want to talk about who took that series under control and split. Instinct, the awakening of him. Man, 2 maps, snoring. Like, that's not even, like, nothing against him. It's just true, and he knows that. He locked the hell in for split, and showed that he can take a map and put it completely back into St. Clair's favor. Turns this one around, shifts the tides, shifts the narratives as well that get put on him. Good on him. He gets St. Clair through to the semis. And in what fashion to do it for the East Division?
Yeah, Harrisburg, they're no slouches either. Huso, that man.
Played us so close.
Huso, that man is looking like one of the best Waylays I've seen in a while. It doesn't he's just not scared to get in there and throw away his life, but the problem is he doesn't throw away his life. He gets 1 or 2 every time.
I think I know
he just gets 1 or 2 every time.
I think I'm starting to realize where that 30% first blood share comes through, because I'm telling you right now, how many times did we see him use both dashes, get 1, maybe even 2 kills before he has to refract back out? I mean,
he's not scared at all.
Doesn't care
not scared
whatsoever. Grabs the intel and then says, "Okay, well, I'll also take your life as well." Package deal. Nice.
I'm honestly,
and I'm out.
I'm amazed, and
S-tier bandit.
I'm admiring.
S-tier burglar.
I'm admiring the trust he has in his team to have his back, and that utility coordination also has to come out of it. Because if you're not coordinated with your util, he's just going to actually throw away his life and have 0 impact. But he had a huge, huge impact throughout the entire series. I want to say top frag in the first, nearly top frag in the second, and probably close here in the third, which is very consistent performance, very amazing to see, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see if Harrisburg are able to run the lower bracket gauntlet and come back and maybe meet St. Clair once again.
Well, look, you know what? If it's any team that's going to be able to do that, it's them. Don't get me wrong. 4th seed right now, and you've dropped them into the lowers, and that is a dog that you've put down there.
Yeah.
A titan that can run that lower bracket. I would not be surprised at all if by the end of it we're talking about potentially a rematch waiting in the wings. But it would have to come from St. Clair making a grand final. That's going to be something that needs to come through if they win their next matchup, which they're going to have a week to break on that. And for St. Clair, it's all smiles all the way around, especially for one Isaac Instinct Walton, who turned it back up for this game, 21-16, 272 on the ACS. Everybody looking very clean and close in terms of the numbers. JP helping out with loads through maps 1 and 3, and as well Woody and Seth keeping things pretty even down the scoreline as well. Tillo had some huge, massive double kills late in that game too.
Tillo had so many impact kills.
Don't let 13 and 16 fool you. That guy had impact frags for days. For Harrisburg though, Huso, man, this was a really insane matchup, because this was one where I was talking about it earlier with you. He had to be the one to be contained if St. Clair wanted to get out of this.
Yeah.
St. Clair got out of it, and in a way, Huso wasn't contained. So it was kind of like we got the best of both worlds in a way that didn't really make sense.
Yeah. You're talking about containing. That just didn't happen.
That did not happen at all.
Map 2, Huso was unleashed, man. He was out there. He was styling, just doing his own thing, making so much space on that neon, and then back on the waylay. He's looking comfortable. He's looking safe, and it's unlucky for Harrisburg. But thankfully, our Saints, they're able to clean it up, lock it right in, and come out with the win.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I do want to obviously say that, you know, big ups on St. Clair. They had what looked to be, not like, I'm not judging it off player cams, but mentals seemed to be not low, but definitely teetering on the brink of, guys, we're getting pretty pissed off here.
Yeah.
There were some times where, you know, big plays would happen, and the conversation wasn't to hype people up. It was, no, we're talking about what we're doing wrong, right? Or at least it seemed like it. Obviously, I can't say that for certain. I know you made a comment on it earlier when we were seeing what Tillo was talking about. But regardless, it seems like what he said, at minimum, must have had value, because the team was able to lock in through that. And I think that for St. Clair, it's really good to see that they can turn that around and use that, reinforce that anger as positive reinforcement heading into next rounds, especially when we think about the breaker, the heartbreaker that the series potentially was. You drag Corrode on for so long, 28 rounds, and you get away with one, right?
Yeah.
All of that just to know that Harrisburg haven't broken. They don't give you an easy haven. They actually stomp you on it, and they completely drown out all the momentum that you had. And then on split, they take, what, a 7-5?
7-5
They're
half,
looking
yeah.
at 9-5, right, through the first 2 rounds of half number 2. That is gross.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the fact that it's 9-5, you're telling me that you're going to win, what, the next 8 rounds to 1?
Mind-boggling.
That's what you have to do
Mind-boggling.
to get it to a 13-10 barn burner, and you do it.
Yeah.
St. Clair, they had the tools to get the job done. But, man, did they have to go through hell to get it.
Yeah, I'm glad, Tillo, you're talking about you got to give time to celebrate, but I'm glad Tillo took the time that he had, especially in the post round, to lock the team in. As an IGL, that's what you have to do. You have to take control. You have to rein everybody in, and when you're down at that big of a deficit, you need all the time you can get, no matter if it's pre-round, if it's post of the previous round. You need to just get what you have out as soon as humanly possible, and he did. St. Clair, man, they looked so good on that second half.
Well, they looked really good throughout the second half, but we have a bit of a segment here as well. A surprise interview from one diving duelist of old who's revived himself. Seth, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing tonight?
Well, we're doing good. Man, this was a crazy matchup end to end. You know, you take the corrode, and then all of a sudden, Harrisburg, they come back and they punch you straight in the mouth, taking the Haven off of you. What was the conversation and the topics looking like on your way to split?
I mean, yeah, we had a kind of rough map too. I mean, it is what it is. I think we played the map how we wanted to. Just kind of some stuff didn't work out, didn't really go our way. So we just kind of said, it is what it is. Just go next. And then we actually changed the comp kind of last second on split. Well, the whole thing of Woody going smokes and me going pretty much flex, depending on the map. And then we just said we ball, and then pocket pick raise, and then here we are.
Yeah, speaking of that pocket pick of raise, you were looking comfortable in that first half. I liked what I was seeing from your raise, and Owen was talking about it in the back. That you haven't played raise since, what, 2023 competitively? So
yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. And how did it feel being back? Were you having fun? Were you just laughing?
Yeah, I mean, the moment they said they wanted me on raise, just a little, you know, those light bulb beam on the top of your head. That's kind of what happened to me. It just locks me in even more, knowing that I have that responsibility as a duelist to make space for my team and get my ones. I did have some roses, though, to be fair, on T-side.
Okay.
It wasn't the best, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. My teammates got me. I made the space for them, but it felt good, and I had some fun today, so.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're kind of doing you dirty on the lower third here. I won't talk too much about that. You'll see it in post when you look at the VOD. Hey,
it is what
look,
it is.
Speaking about this post game, right, obviously, you're down now. You're up to the semifinals, and you have a weekend off to kind of relax, I believe, actually. So, obviously, you know, looking at the competition, yeah, I was going to say, I'm getting that in my ear right now. Next weekend, you guys don't have a game.
Yes.
This time is going to be huge for you guys. What are some things that you look to improve upon by the time you hit semifinals that you noticed if you had to struggle on today?
Just kind of, if we're going to go through with this change, I mean, depending on what we want to do, just kind of narrow down just the little things and kind of use this time to really prep for the teams that we're going to play. Then we VOD review, just work on our own little game and just put in some extra practice for the playoffs and hopefully come out.
Very well said, and I hope you can have a great practice time for your match against Fisher in about 2 weeks. I'm just checking now. Fisher has beaten the Conestoga Condors 2-0, so you will be playing them on the 21st. Do you have a message for Fisher? Anything you want to say to them?
Nothing. Just be ready and don't sleep on us.
Hey,
come on hot.
Indeed. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Seth.
sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, well, that's going to do it on desk for us today, on stream for us today. But Lello, thank you so much for joining me in what was a hell of a series.
Oh, yeah.
St. Clair coming out on top in 3, as I predicted. So,
Whatever,
hey, you know what? A lot of them don't go my way, so I'm going to take this one while I can.
Take what you
but
get.
Thank you so much to the viewers as well for watching this one. Thank you to the prod staff in the back room for keeping the stream going. I want to give a special shout out to Owen, Carl, Adam, Evan, Hayden, I believe Landon as well. Am I wrong about that? I thought he was. Oh right, no Landon on this one. But hey, shout out to Landon. Hey, Adrian and Alana on B stream as well, holding the fort down. Shout out Adrian. And yes, also, sorry, Prod Room, we have some events to shout out because it's coming very soon, March 14th. Make sure you guys show up and in plentiful amounts of people coming through these doors of the Nexus because we got No Man's Land going down here, don't we, Lello?
Yes, No Man's Land, one of the very many lands featured here at St. Clair College. So many tournaments happening with a $1,500+ prize pool. We have Rocket League, we have Valorant, we have Rivals, and tabletop games such as Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Being played here March 14th at 10 a.m. There's still time to sign up, so get your tickets and get right on over here to the Nexus. But that's not the only event we have going on because Sakura Anime Fest is coming up too.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Anime fans, rejoice. Your time is here. At least, not right now, but on April 11th. You're going to want to make sure that you show up here. Look at these deals that we have for you. Man, we talked about them before, but if I can get $65 plus of worth out of $40 from premium admission, seems pretty good to me. I'm pretty sure that there's also only 50 of these premium admissions being given out, so make sure that you guys claim them immediately. Merch included in the bundle. Register with the QR code. But hey, you know what? Even if you're just willing to pay general admin, we will be very happy to have you. Apparently, I've been told that there's tote bags, shirts, stickers. I know I've heard Evan say that apparently he's seen the merch, and he's not even a part of Sakura Fest. He's, I believe, on the No Man's Land team, but he said it's looking pretty damn good what they're doing over there. So scan that QR code, sign up right now, show up to St. Clair, and celebrate all of these beautiful student-run events here with us at the Nexus.
And thank you once again. I do want to give a very, very, very special shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to Alienware, Tim Hortons, Subway, the SRC, the St. Clair Alumni Association, Onezo, and of course, our goats over at Pre-Fire. But I've been Lello Yujimasi Lela. Thank you, Adam. Whoa! Wrong
Crazy.
chamber. Wrong chamber. Wrong
Crazy.
chamber. I just called you by your brother's name. Wrong
Crazy.
chamber. Patrick, please forgive me. Please, please, please.
All good, bro.
But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We will see you all next time.
Closed.
Last player standing.
Been down the darkest road. Didn't think I could get out. Now I just walk on through. The ghosts are all around. Here and I can't be moved. I never look back. They start creeping in, but I'm leaving them in the past. Don't tell me that I'm dreaming. Don't tell me that I'm wrong. 'Cause I've heard it all before. And just look where I am now. We can break the cycle. Find our own way out. Was the light at the end of the tunnel. So I look at myself. The ghosts are all around.
One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
The ghosts are all around.